Okay, here we go.
Keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
Well, since GE's here, we might as well let him do the intro since he's the one that's got the best one. So, GE?
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Welcome to Flatterday Night Fights, where normally we have an anti-flat earther globe person fighting off against a flat earth isn't able to show, apparently, which I guess we're still kind of sort of waiting on him. And I guess we're just going to be kind of, shooting the shit or talking about how crazy, EdgeWyze is.
Or if there's this is a good opportunity if anybody's in the chat and you want to come in and talk to the three of us, then you can come on in. EdgeWyze, Fight the Flat Earth, you were kind of monitoring EdgeWyze's comments. He was responding up until how long ago?
Well, the last one he said okay was about 2.5 hours ago now, and he thumbed up when I said it was at 10. But he hasn't responded since then. But since the last time that me and him met on the NonSequitur Show, he has done 8 videos directed at me and the NonSec Show, all saying how he wants to come and debate again. And where is he, eh?
Somebody cue Usher's "You've Got It Bad." I think he's got it bad.
I mean, not only did he literally run away last time, but he hasn't even turned up this time.
Well, wouldn't you though? If you were, I mean, let's be honest. Did you really expect fossilized dragons? Like, we set up for a flat Earth debate, and to be honest with you, by the time that was over, I missed flat Earth. Like, I was like, please take me back to flat Earth.
I much more enjoyed last week against Ali B because at least there was some kind of conversation there. With EdgeWyze, it was just, it's pareidolia, dude. Like, one of the videos he did at us was titled "No Such Thing as Coincidence or Pareidolia." It's 9 minutes 41 long. It's 9 minutes 41 of coincidence and pareidolia. He's literally pointing out pareidolia and going, "This proves that I'm right." Like, you were watching it, Carl, earlier, the one with the 2 heads and stuff. Like,
Well, like, I just can't help but to wonder, like, I mean, how crazy do you have to be to honestly go, like, make a 9-minute video where it's just all of those particular things and say, nope, you see, that's a real head sitting right there in that bush. I know it looks like pareidolia something or another, but it's not, okay? I promise you it's a real head, and it's jerking off.
The Eye of the Sahara, which is an actual landmark there. It looks like a spiral, just a circle. It's a perfect circle there in Africa. And he said that this is true. He said that this was the eye of a fish that the dragon had caught, and I guess
was in the middle of
eating when it got fossilized. Maybe.
Yeah, and the Eye of the Sahara is actually the eye of the dragon. And like, he said that his mum had bought him a gemstone from there. So I looked up the type of gemstones you can get from that area, and there's 100% no way that it can be organic because they're created with volcanic pressure and stuff. And we can trace back the time period when they're from. And he's like, "Oh, this is a piece of the dragon eye," and I'm like, "No, that's a rock, dude."
Dragon eye. This is straight.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Cal, I'm sending you a picture that anytime you get EdgeWyze, anytime we can get EdgeWyze back on here, we need to show him this picture and ask what he thinks about it.
All right. Let me see. Oh, okay. There's a link. What do we got? Hold on. Let me bring this up. Take me just a second. But this week he had found, the reason he called us out this week is because he had found a new animal in the in the geology. And Fight the Flat Earth, you want to tell us what he found this week?
An eagle. In the video titled "Non-Sequitur Fight the Flat Earth, Time to Man Up," he found a giant eagle with wings and everything.
What does that look like?
The mountains.
Fight the Flat Earth.
Your average Saturday night?
My man. My man.
You're all welcome, by the way. Okay, you're welcome.
That's fantastic. Where?
So he'd found a massive eagle on the coast of Africa, wasn't it? Like with the head and everything, and like he spent like about 5 minutes in the video going through the bits of this eagle. When you zoom out, and it's just literally some cliffs and stuff. But he's convinced that somehow proves the Earth's flat. I'm
gonna actually pull it up while we just chat here. And once again, guys, if you want to come in and chat with us about we'll just open it up for anything, I guess. Religion, flat Earth. If you disagree with any of us for some reason, tag me in the chat, and we'll bring you in, and we can have a chat. EdgeWyze, if you're watching, stop being bitch made. Come on in. You
definitely
hashtag talk
bitch made.
A lot of junk.
They and them has just said the Mind of God would gladly come in, but I really don't want to speak to Mind of God again. That guy gives me a headache.
You know what? What if we talk to Mind of God about? Can we talk about anything other than orthogonal or vectors? Have we ever talked to him about? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say. I know that Fight Flat Earth. I know you don't want to talk to him, but like as long as he doesn't talk about the whole orthogonal vectors or whatnot for gravity, I mean, if he could bring up some other kind of point, I mean, I'd be interested in talking to him. But I mean, this is, Fight Flat Earth. I don't know. I feel like
if he wants to come in, we were on Red's channel with him the other night, and he seems to want to get into Dumb Fuck of the Year 2019. It's like he's actively trying. He even said, "Oh, can I be in the running?"
I think he already is.
I'd like your opinion on whether he's Poe at this point.
I don't know. No, I mean, I think Mind of God is serious, but I think that he wears the whole Dumb Fuck of the Year as like a badge of honor.
Oh yeah, but when we were doing the hangout for the Dumb Fuck of the Year, we were talking about him, but we decided that he just wasn't important enough to even be in the running.
We'll bring you in just a second, Mind of God. Just hang tight for a second. But I want to show this to Godless Engineer because I don't think he's seen this yet. But we'll kind of go through the great eagle that was found by EdgeWyze this week.
Okay.
This video is entitled "Non-Sequitur Fight the Flat Earth. It's Time to Man Up." Well, hold on just a second, EdgeWyze. How the fuck can you tell us to man up when we're here waiting to hear from you, and you are nowhere to be found?
It's literally 3 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, I believe we've manned up. How about you man up? All right, let's watch a little bit of this.
Fight the Flat Earth. We'll keep this short and sweet.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes long.
He said, "I'll keep this short and sweet with 8 seconds of dead silence. I'll keep this short and sweet."
Destroys the whole globe claim.
No,
just pause it there. This single image destroys the whole globe claim. That's
right.
what he just said.
And see what he's
random fucking noise destroys the globe. Way to go!
Do you see the picture, GE, where the beak is coming down the hill?
No,
you see the beak?
I don't.
Look in the middle, right? There's
okay.
You see, I mean, it does look like a beak. You see it
kind of?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't like. I may be able to perceive the wings a little bit, but I definitely don't see like a beak or anything. Maybe I'm just too high-minded for this shit. I don't know.
Now, do you see feathers on this one?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I could definitely see how those would look like feathers.
Okay. Now, this right here literally is his. This is his proof that this is a fossilized eagle But now he's gonna go a bit further. Like he's not satisfied with that.
Are you familiar?
So watch what he does here.
Hold on.
Huh?
Okay, but hold on. I would love for him to explain even one fossilization process, because there's multiple different ways things can be fossilized. So I just would love for him to explain to me what exactly fossilization is. That would be a fascinating thing to hear. Because I try to do these shitty ass science things, like explain fossilization. There's no way that I can come up with something as good as whatever EdgeWyze thinks that fossilization is.
That's such a good point. That is such a good point. Well,
Now,
it gets better.
he said that this was like a space astronaut, didn't he? And that's carved into the Earth as well.
Right.
I was looking that up, and that is actually the lid of a Mayan king, his tomb lid called Kinich Janab Pakal, from thousands of years ago. So it's actually it was an illustration of a Mayan king, nothing even to do with what he was saying about.
Well, I mean, obviously, kapow or cacao, whatever, those are the laser sounds that are coming off of the ship that he seems to be piloting. I mean, it's so easy to tell. I mean, you got various instruments that are going up his ass and up his nostrils. That's how he controls the ship. And then he impales himself on the fucking steering wheel, because obviously that's important to control shit too.
But at least his hands are at 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So we know he's a safe driver. The best. I was hoping that this would be like a decorative piece from like Walmart. You know what I'm saying? You know how they do like art like that. Like it'd be so fantastic if he found out it was from that. But just watch what he does with this particular piece.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because he talks so slow.
Pack call?
I guess I could.
Oh
speed
God,
it
he
up.
does.
I'll get into it. On a later date. I already have. I have previous videos going over all
Speed
this,
him up a little bit.
by the way. All right.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Now, GE, can you see the exact image of that in this topography?
Okay, so the exact image,
Yes.
no, because I could see sort of how he gets the leg there, and I can see how it kind of looks like maybe a human body. But I mean, again, like we've been saying, this is just noise in our visual senses. Like, I mean, it's just there's no, like, we're trying to perceive patterns that aren't actually there.
Pareidolia.
Well,
It's a thing, EdgeWyze.
It's from part of the brain that it's called the falciform face area. It's part of the human visual system that specializes for face recognition and helps you distinguish between other things. And the reason why people see things when they shouldn't is because it overrides other parts of the brain, because it invokes an early reaction, 165 milliseconds, which is quicker than other reactions. An evolutionary response to help you respond to dangers in a quicker way. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. And I think that
That image of the call is
let's see.
interdimensional. This is in
There's
South
one
Africa.
more here. Okay, here we go. Maybe. There we go. All right, so there's kind of a aerial comparison of the two that you could kind of superimpose on it. Can anyone make out what he's trying to put forth here?
Okay, listen, I get what he's trying to think about here, but I can guarantee you that is just that. Honey, what is that one woman rapper's name that has the big ass?
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. Yeah, Nicki Minaj. See, that's just Nicki Minaj twerking. That's all that is.
That is what we call
I mean,
super
she
bass.
just twerked so hard she imprinted on the ground.
That's what you call super bass. By the way, I just got an
Makes about
email
as
from
much
EdgeWyze. Just got an email from EdgeWyze. And he says,
Okay.
talk to you at 10. Thanks. Now it is...
Oh, fuck. 10 what?
It is 10:15 now, EdgeWyze. So...
What time zone is he in, or does he not believe in fucking time zones?
That's a good question, but listen, he sent this at 10:13 p.m.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering what time zone he's in, because obviously he's not in like Eastern time zone.
Well, I can only go about like on the last time that we brought him in. He knew it was Eastern because he was here on time, and the event has been set up for 3 days.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said it in one of his YouTube videos.
Listen, okay, here's your first problem there, Kyle. You're assuming that he remembers the last time that he came on here, okay? I doubt that he remembers even being here the last time, other than the fact that, oh, I know I was there because there's recorded evidence of it.
I would hope that if you go into a live stream and you start saying that mountains are fossilized dragons, that's not an event that you're going to forget. Like, if you forget that, then you have a whole other set of problems. If you're able to block that out of your memory, then there's something else completely wrong. So maybe he'll join us here shortly too. Mind of God, hold tight for just a second. Let me find out what EdgeWyze is going to do, and we'll give him a few more minutes and see if he comes in. And I think on this video, that's pretty much. He might go through the dragon again, but after this, I'll take you through where he actually goes in the dust in his house, and he'll blow smoke like from a cigarette or a vape or something like that, and he'll capture images and find the things in the images.
I've been doing the same. I actually asked him what app he uses, and I downloaded the same app, and I was purposely trying to find things, and I could get the same bunny face after a few minutes of trying every time.
There's the dragon, by the way. There's the great dragon of the Sahara.
I don't even see a dragon there.
Big wing going up to the left. The head is sort of up to the top of your screen. I wish my cursor.
I mean, I have to concentrate to make that into a dragon. It's not a shape that I instantly recognize when I'm looking at that.
Can you guys see my cursor?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, there's the bit of a dragon. I think he's going through that again. There's another dragon. There's a dragon face right there to the right of your screen. See how it's got the jaw? The jaw's coming down towards the screen, and there's the mouth.
No. Do you see that, John? Because I really don't.
The jaw. No, I mean, I see, like, on the right side, I can see how that might be a back, and, like, oh, shit. Okay, now I lost it.
No, I'm not.
I had it. Let me see if he brings up anything shattering here.
Oh, wait, is that a dragon?
So here's another one. Yes. Type in the coordinates, go right to it. You'll still have a hard time honing in on it.
That is a wolf, I think he says. See, there's the... Oh, no, that is the dragon. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me zoom back just a tad bit. All right. So here you'll get to see the... All right, right there. See the dragon now? It's the wings are kind of arcing up and going to the left, and then you've got...
Oh, yeah, I see it.
The head facing
it's just clicked.
The right of the ocean.
No.
Now, here's the question that I think he would have to answer for me. Okay, you have these dragons that are literally the size of a continent, right? Where do they, like, exist? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's as big as one continent, where do they go to chill?
Yeah.
Or do they just, stay on that one...
What do they eat, and where do they shit?
Yeah, they're literally
like,
almost the size of a quarter of the globe.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. All right. So the oceans were put here on Earth by these giant dragons taking a piss off of the cliffs. Now, you want to know where they took a shit? That's how mountains are formed. They just took big old shits. And what did they eat? My guess is that they ate hopes, dreams, and fairy farts. Is the only thing that I can think of because they're so goddamn big. I don't know. Maybe they did that thing in that Ring of Fire movie with Christian Bale. They pretty much burned everything alive, and then they ate the ashes, and then they shat out the ashes, and that's what made mountain ranges.
That is.
It all makes so much sense when you say it like that.
The truth. I almost want that to be the truth.
Yeah. Although we're gonna have to speak to
we should just
because he still thinks it's trees.
You know, honestly, we should just do the entire stream of going through his bullshit and then having me try to explain it.
I think that's a good. That's going to wind up being a good idea. The thing is though, if these are fossilized dragons, right? Don't you think that people would realize that they're building houses and roads and like drilling through literal dragon?
No, they wouldn't. I mean, it would just be like, "Oh, what is this? This is not a giant fucking bone or anything. No, that's a tree." And they would just be like, "Oh, okay. I didn't realize trees had cartilage and bone marrow and shit." But all right.
I think that's it. That's it for this video. So you can go ahead and if you have any other points you guys want to bring up real quick while I bring up this other video of where the fisheye and the dragon that's eating the fish is.
Well, it's not even that. It's that he thinks that the continents used to be sandwiched on top of each other. Like he thinks that Africa used to be sandwiched on top.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of America, and it was the dragons that kind of separated it.
Yes, I remember that now. Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Yes, he believed that the continents were stacked on top of each other, and that it was the dragon's job to pull the layers off, so to speak, and place them where they are today.
Yeah.
I wish you guys hold on. I just want to show you guys GE face palming right now. Let me take the. Let's see. There we go.
I think we've broken him.
GE.exe broken.
Well, I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous because, like, half of the shit that's supposed to be there, I can't see it. And when I was a kid, I learned to do those, like, 3D magic eye fucking puzzles. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
The ones where you have to, like, cross your eye and lift your butt cheek.
I can never do those.
Yeah, see, I mean, I figured out how to do those, and I can tell you right now, I can't figure out how he's getting this shit. I mean, honestly. Like, I don't know. Right now, that just looks like a giant pile of dragon shit, obviously. I mean, that's what that is.
Well, we're about to get even more bizarre right here, because this is where the true just bizarre lies. Okay, so let's bring this up. I'll bring this full screen. Okay, so this is where he's taking the smoke that I did today. He's putting in his own house, right? By whatever means. And he's going to find shapes and images in the smoke that he is creating in his place. Now look,
what he does is
I see Yoshi right there.
He finds it
filtered.
Did you guys see Yoshi?
So he mirrors it, and then he attempts to find this demon face that he says is permeating into our reality, and it's in every picture that he takes, be it of the clouds, of screenshots of the land on Google Earth, or of smoke. He can always find this same demon face once he manipulates it with this app.
Yeah.
Zoom in, zoom out.
So there's him doing the smoke. Now, another thing that he does, like FlatEarth just said, he mirrors these images. So he'll take it and he'll take half the image and then mirror that half so that it goes over top. So see here how you have like the perfect equal size on each side. Now, what's the point of mirroring the image if you're not just looking for something? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to mirror the image to find the demon.
It's in the way that he described it in one of his videos was that that's the only way that we can see it permeating our reality.
You know, just cover
whatever that means.
Is through mirrors?
Here's the moon mirrored. Now, do you see that, guys? Do you see what's in the moon?
Oh shit! I see it.
To me.
No, do you see it? It's got the eyes and it's got the mouth. Oh man, it's gonna eat all of our assholes, guys.
Oh yeah.
To me, it looks like the top of a skull. All right, now I'm
kind of seeing a lizard with a forked tongue.
everything.
There's nothing there. Nothing there. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the fire demon. I think it's coming up.
Oh yeah, this one.
Facts,
not sure.
Oh hey, look, dragons! He found them.
Now here's what he does to the moon. Okay, he's searching every single cloud that he can to find this demon face. But when you get to, well, okay, now he's going to show you that there's a face in Hurricane Florence
Cloud
here.
Images? No, that's real pictures. That's what it is. So think about that.
And he's talking about something that he doesn't even point out. Like, we have no clue what he's talking about here.
Those aren't cut.
Yeah, well, he's just saying, look, you can see this. It's proof. Look, here it is.
Oh, wait, I do think he highlights it. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So he's going to highlight it right here.
Look at this is a fucking picture from the ISS. Look in the right there.
Okay, did anybody see anything right there?
No.
I don't know. Does the Earth have tapeworm?
Let's find out.
Look at those shapes. Think about that. Why are the clouds?
Think about what?
Exactly. He doesn't even say what it is.
Contained within the cross sections of the dragon.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Sorry?
It's a dragon.
Oh, is he saying that entire thing is a dragon?
Here we go. Here's the fire demon. All right, now he's taking a picture of a tree that's engulfed in flames, and he has mirrored it so that it looks like a cinder llama. That is a cinder llama right there. That is a llama that is on fire.
Whoa. A cinder llama.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how fucking metal like a Lucifer llama would be? Like, I mean, holy shit! I can see it. It's like, I eat souls and little children for breakfast,
and then spit.
And that's like him. Yeah, that's like him.
I feel like my
bursting
theme
into
music should be
flame
playing
and
over this.
everything.
But okay, my thing is though, you obviously see this mirrored, right? Because look at the people down below; they're carbon copies. They're just mirrored. So the same people that are on the left are the same people that are on the right. Now, why is it that these demons can only be seen if you flip half of them? So does that mean that they're like half existing demons? So in reality, it's just like one half of that coming at you?
Okay, here I can. Yeah, so okay, here I got the explanation. You guys ready? So it's basically like reverse vampirism. You know how vampires, you can't see them in mirrors? Well, listen, demons and fucking dragons you can only see in mirrors. So it's kind of like an anti-vampire, that the situation that we got going on right now, okay?
That's actually funny.
It makes so much sense.
But do you know the key that you know what that would mean though? The easiest way to get rid of these fucking things is just break the mirror.
But like,
well, yeah, I mean, you would think that would be.
The Earth is... Seriously, I just don't understand how it. Why does this prove the Earth is flat?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't think that that he buys into flat Earth that much. I think to him, this is the biggest issue at hand.
What, demons in your mirrored fucking photoshopped images?
Yeah, because he doesn't talk about now think about this, okay? Let's get the elephant out of the room, because it doesn't seem like he's coming, so I was gonna wait and ask him this when he came in, but let's just get the elephant out of the room. He's showing us all of these fossilized dragons and eagles and stuff on a fucking globe Earth. He's literally using a globe Earth to point out these things that are fossilized and in the ground. That's the model that he's working with, right? So all of his little things that he's finding hinge on the fact that the Earth is round, because he's using a globe to point them out.
Well,
so,
I don't know. I think that he could still be like, well, yeah, it's like a sphere. It's a sphere Earth that they placed this map on, but it's really just a flat map that's wrapped around a sphere.
yeah. I guess he could do that, but I mean, unless he has like a radically, like, usually there's like a radically different model that they have. That Africa is somehow pushed closer to the United States. I don't know what they say, but there's some kind of difference on there. And if that's the case, I would think that, how could he know? Right now, he's just he doesn't have any aerial shots of the flat Earth. He just has what we provide with the globe Earth. So let's say that the Earth is flat. How can he say that the continents are still mapped out the way that they are on a globe? Like, he couldn't say that with any amount of confidence, I wouldn't think.
Well, I mean, honestly, he says that there are fucking dragons that are fossilized into the faces of the onto the side of the planet. I don't think that he's exactly thinking that far ahead. Okay,
This is true.
Or thinking at all.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's see what he says. This thing is right here.
What the fuck? I mean, come on. If this is just a real picture, whatever. I take some fucking crazy pictures myself. What the fuck?
what the fuck is this little fire plume thing right here? God damn it! Do you guys see a flaming like poodle, like one of those? Pause it right there on the little poodle dog.
Sure.
I mean, it's a flaming fucking poodle like balloon animal made by a magician set on fire.
Well, if I can get it back there. There you go.
In the air.
There you go.
Look at it. That's what I see in that. Like it looks like one of those flaming wiener dog balloon animals.
But the thing is, another question to him would be, okay, you're taking pictures of this thing. It's going to change like every millisecond. Like, you know how fast fire, you know, it changes its shape and whips and bends and everything else. So he's taking a picture now and he sees something. If you would have taken that picture a second later, if he'd have been a minute late, you wouldn't have seen that same thing. So is this a demon that's constantly
he would have found a
shape-shifting?
different face though.
So it's a shape-shifting.
But it's the fact that he has to go and look for these things, isn't it? It's the fact that they're not just there. He has to mirror the images. He has to choose specific frames.
Like here, where you get the devil.
Yeah.
So that's supposed to be Satan.
That just looks like an angry vagina to me.
What kind of vaginas have you been looking at?
No, I haven't been looking at any, but I mean, it just, I don't know. It just kind of.
Casey, cover your ears.
No, she laughed
Got
at
some
that.
explaining to do.
I mean,
Good sport.
I don't know. It looks like Lucifer's vagina. That's what that is. Lucifer's vagina. That's what that's called now.
So we've met
You know,
Lucifer's
don't
llama,
at
and now
me.
we've met Lucifer's vagina. It's a good
Well,
night.
yeah.
Maybe EdgeWyze is onto something. So we get back to the smoke at his place. Now, look how close he is zooming in on these wisps of smoke.
Oh shit! Look, guys, there's an orb right there. That's a ghosty.
If anyone wants to know the nature of reality, tell them to ask EdgeWyze.
Oh, wait, did y'all?
Whoa! Pause.
Yeah, did y'all catch that?
He,
Here we go.
he said, if
What
you
the-
want to know about the what was it
I think the
something
basis of
about reality?
Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah,
it.
ask
Let's
EdgeWyze.
hear from him again.
If anyone wants to know the nature of reality, tell them to ask EdgeWyze.
If anyone wants to know the nature of reality, tell them to ask EdgeWyze.
Oh my god!
Will
I
do,
so
buddy.
want to ask him about the nature of reality now.
Yeah, right?
We're not even. This is halfway through this video. Okay. Look at this. Do you see the? You remember the dog from A Nightmare on Christmas, or Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
With Jack. There's
Yeah.
the dog right there. Or that's
Oh,
what I see.
shit.
I can see like a goat. I can see a goat with really short legs there.
That's what I see. Okay. Let's try to power through and we're about 3/4 of the way through now.
See, now I gotta know what he thinks about
More
the
cloud
goat sea
bedroom.
in the sky.
Here he
Is
is
that the
outside.
bat signal? Pretty sure that's the bat signal.
Same shapes.
Go away, clouds.
He's convincing himself though that he's seeing the same thing in all of these things, and clearly he's not, because we're looking at all of them and they're nowhere near
I don't know what's up with those.
the same thing. But he's convinced himself that he's being
New phone.
He's
So
so
how high
sure
is
about
the
what
phone?
he's saying, and it's like he's almost
That's the
incredulous that
message
no one
control
else
of the
sees
top.
it.
It's a dragon spirit cross.
I mean, to be quite honest, they look like kind of like dog turds in the sky.
Well, yeah, that's
like
what
the
really
negative space between the clouds.
This was like a horror movie. Like
oh shit! Witch. That's God's asshole right there, guys.
Oh yeah, this is the bit where he sees like some colors, like in the pixels of his camera, and the colors are proof of something.
Right. So yeah, now he takes us. It's just like I don't like. Can you? Oh wait a minute. Oh, that's on his
flat looking.
That's on his thing. Okay, so let me go back to the main screen here. Mind of God, I guess EdgeWyze isn't going to come, so I'm going to send you the link if you're still watching.
Yeah, get Mind of God in here. It'd be nice to talk to his ass. Maybe I shouldn't have had 2 beers before we brought him in.
Can we make him promise not to say the word orthogonal, please?
Yes.
Every time he says orthogonal, he gets a ding.
I think I'll say a Gmail. Hold on.
Someone in the chat has asked me to call out a flat earther, Multi Tom Tom. He was supposed to go on GeoStriber's channel yesterday and talk about stuff, but he bitched out as well. What is it with flat earthers and bitching out?
He's a annoying troll. Who told you to call him out?
I can't remember, but I remember he was supposed to be on GeoStriber's channel, but he didn't turn up.
You see, I can't get any of these fucks to talk to me. Like, I've tried to get them, and they're just like, they either don't debate about the flat Earth, even though they push flat Earth shit, or I just can't get a hold of them. So,
it's the same way with us too. There's a handful of people that we've got. Like, I tried to get Wonton to come on earlier to talk to Dr. Prothero, and he said that he didn't want to talk to Prothero. He wanted to talk to the CGI expert that we had on. Mind of God, by the way, that's in your inbox now. But I also sent a message to allegedly Dave to talk to. This was last week to talk to Dr. Prothero, and his response to me was, "I see it. Hold on. Yeah, I see it benefiting your channel, but and the doctor might sell a lot of books, but it wouldn't really do anything for my channel. So I'm going to have to politely decline while I drink this."
That was a pretty good accent.
Tall glass of urine.
You know, I think that ever since he's been on a few things, I think that he's let it go to his head a little bit.
Well, I think he's tired of the urine thing getting brought up every time he goes somewhere. But I mean,
well, then the easy way to stop that is to stop drinking your own piss.
Right, that's my point. Like, you can't expect people not to ask, like, because that's just not.
Oh, hey, speaking of piss, by the way, I learned today from one of my people that follows my channel and everything, Josiah, that apparently you can use diabetic piss to make whiskey. So,
but we have
looking out for that
now. We have perfectly good whiskey.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. I'm just going to point that out.
Listen, here's a rant real quick, okay? Why do we constantly try to do things that aren't needed, right? We have coffee now that people are. It's some expensive kind of coffee that a certain animal eats and then will shit out the coffee beans, and they then take that and they make coffee with it. Why? We have perfectly good coffee. Why do you feel the need to drink coffee that's been shit out by some animal? Like, if we ran out of coffee, maybe. I still don't think
come on.
so.
Okay, listen. I want you just to imagine the person that came up with that particular product. They're out in the wild. They're observing monkeys. And it's like, you know, they've been eating those coffee beans, and then you see them shit it out, and you're like, I could go for some coffee right now. You want to brew up some of that shit coffee?
Yeah, it brings a whole new meaning to the word. Let me go strong roast. Strong roast. Okay, sorry. You came in right as we were talking about shitting coffee,
Shit coffee.
and drinking urine. So, welcome back, Mind of God.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's
Can
it
you guys
going?
hear me all right?
Hello again.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, what's up? No, everything's good. Everything's good.
So I figure we're just gonna let. What would you like to talk about? We're not gonna go into the things that we've already covered. So let's see if we can find something, be it religion, space, anything, and we'll just kind of see where the conversation goes. Anything on your mind?
I don't know. I find the one thing I did say in Red's Rhetoric's hangout, and I want to reiterate, and again, this is not to suck up to you guys, but I do think it's easier to talk to you guys about certain topics than religious people. So I give you guys credit for that. Again, even though you guys probably think it's not going to happen, or it's kind of funny probably, but yeah, that's...
Oh, that's because we're cool as shit. We totally believe you on this. This is the one time that you're absolutely 100% right.
I didn't quite say that, but no, I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. What do you normally find hard to talk to Christians about?
I mean, I was just on, even just for the last, with Jaren's last live stream, and not to like call out people unnecessarily, but in like this flat earth doctrine guy, like just even discussing topics like the mark of the beast is like somehow like uncomfortable. And I'm like, no one has to take my stance on it. I get it. Like it seems hard to believe, and we already went over that, but I just find it really odd that some truthers like find it uncomfortable. I think like the hangout with Reds and Craig and all that, like they were just, Sean, they were all open to talking about it. So I think that credit to you guys for that. But
what is your stance on the mark of the beast?
I don't know. I think it's going to happen soon, and I think that it's going to kind of put the Bible to the test of whether it's just a load of BS or is it like
To
something.
clarify for anyone who hasn't spoken to Mind of God before, sorry to cut in, but he thinks the mark of the beast is RFID chips. So the chips you can have implanted under your skin to control technology and stuff like that. His literal interpretation of the mark of the beast is that will bring about the end times by governments controlling us and stuff. Is that right?
I thought it was like the 666.
Yes, sir.
What happened to that?
It's kind of.
What's your thoughts on that, John?
It's the foundation of that, yeah. Like all the stuff RussianVids brings out, the 666 and the 33. The 666 at least comes from that. I think it's the only reference in the whole Bible for that number, and it's from the Mark of the Beast prophecy.
How does that tie into the chips though?
It's all in that. The chip is kind of what would be the most likely candidate in modern time. So again, if this never happens, obviously it'll never happen. If it's in the future, it would be called something else. But with the current technology, that's the easiest thing to reference it as.
Okay, well, I mean, I have to say that this is actually kind of goes against a lot of what's in the Bible as far as God and what he does goes. I mean, all throughout the Old Testament, God purposefully picks the least likely thing that would be suspected and actually uses that in order to do his will. Like Gideon was the nerdy fuck in the class that, couldn't do shit. He couldn't lift, a Q-tip. But, God raised him up as a judge and, had him slaughter a whole bunch of people because God is good all the time, and all the time God's fucking good, right? But so now what you're telling me now is that the most likely scenario for this mark of the beast is now the MO of God, like choosing the most likely thing is now what's definitely going to happen, not that God would choose the least likely thing. Because see, God is always looking, at least in the Bible, he's always looking to accentuate how it's him that has done it, or that it's him that has caused something to happen, or that it's supernatural. He always chooses the least likely situation. So I'm just kind of curious, like, why is his MO changed all of a sudden?
Shit! Real quick, Mind of God, before you answer that, if God's going to use the most unlikely thing as an instrument, that means that we now know why Kanye West inhabits this planet. It all makes sense.
Yeah, agreed. I'm not a big fan of him.
Would you say that it's now is the time that you see the mark of the beast as being possible. Do you see that it couldn't have happened before? Is that like why you think it's happening now? Is because now is the only time that there's kind of this global connection and everything?
Yeah, and I think in some ways, to contrast or to piggyback off of what Godless was saying, was that it's so like kind of blatant, you know, and in a way very different than a lot of the way the Bible is. Like subtle, could be misinterpreted, you know, could have applied, you know, in many years ago and all that. This one is kind of so, like, if it's wrong, it's very arrogant, you know, and I say this trying to be balanced about it, that if it doesn't happen, it's an extremely arrogant prophecy, because it's like, yeah, I'm going to do this to all people. It's going to be me, you know, it's like, it's not going to be hidden. You're going to be forced to take it in order to live, yada, yada, yada. That's kind of like, damn, you know, like that's kind of ballsy, honestly, to say that, for a book to make a claim like that. Any book that made a claim like that, I don't care what religion it is, obviously any honest person would sit there and observe it and be like, if it doesn't happen, it's, to me, it's, you know, I'm unapologetic of how evil the Bible is. It is the nastiest book that would ever have been made if this thing does not happen, to me. And I would be ashamed that I was part of it.
You've kind of given it a time frame of like 5 years, right? So
yeah, I don't think.
What if after that 5 years, something else kind of comes along that is maybe more likely to be the mark of the beast? Would you then reset your thinking and say, "Oh, I'll give it another 5 years"? Or are you going to be more open to looking at more scientific explanations then?
Yeah, I wouldn't like just I wouldn't change the goalpost, which you guys accuse us of in the flat Earth. This, to me, if something doesn't come out that's not like forced, I'm not going to like look for another. Like, I'm not going to be grasping at straws. Like, to me, that's more than enough time for this thing to puff its chest and then, you know, walk the walk, so to speak.
And by the way,
so if within the next 5 years,
we'll be here in 10 minutes.
Okay. So if within the next 5 years it doesn't happen, will you then turn your back on the flat Earth straight away, or is that the point that you then start looking at other things? Because I kind of get the feeling with you at the moment that there is nothing that we could present you that would convince you that the Earth is round until this mark of the beast thing is out of the way.
Yeah, I think no, it's not. I'm not that closed off. I think you guys probably know the story that I have is my very narrow thing on gravity. So yeah, I mean that's just me being fair. Like, I'm not an expert with cameras. I don't own like a 900 or 1,000, and you know, it's just, you know, I agree. I might be kind of I've kind of said my piece, you know, and I enjoy, you know, talking to you guys whenever, but that's my little kind of angle. So I'm kind of learning more from both sides, you know, presenting drone footage and all that kind of stuff. I think it's interesting to ask my opinion on that. I'm not the best person to, you know, kind of put through the ringer on some of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean,
do you feel that you're a bit biased at the moment? Sorry, do you feel that you're a bit biased at the moment when you're looking at observations? Are you going into it with the mindset of it's flat and this is probably not going to convince me?
No, that's I have to think about that. No, I don't think so. I mean, if someone presented a ball Earth thing that just, you'd have to be a complete, like, there's no non-linearities, there's no perspective, there's no subjectiveness at all. It's just a linear, repeatable thing. Then yeah, I mean, I would never, you know, I would, you know, tip my hat to that and go back to my old ball Earth life, I guess, but not bring the Bible. The Bible is gone if that happens. I will literally burn it on a live stream if the ball Earth is proven to be true. And then the mark of the beast is kind of a moot issue, because if it is, you know, if it does come out and the government forces it, it's for the reason that they're saying. There's no lie there. It's like the Bible just happened to predict something. It was a fluke, you know, because it's a flat Earth book. So who cares what the Bible's opinion on the chip would be?
Okay.
If the Earth is a ball.
Okay, matter. Mind of God, I'm gonna have to hold you to that now.
Yes, sir. No, this whole video is being recorded.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that if a globe Earth is sufficiently proven and you agree that it is a globe Earth, I want to have you burn the Bible on video.
Not in my
Yeah,
apartment,
you can
but
do
I
it
will
on my channel.
Not in my apartment. That's my only caveat. Like, to be safe, yeah, I
So
will do it for sure.
Are you going to be one of my
No, do
next
it out in the
interviews with the next Flat
driveway,
Earther
in the
then?
park, whatever.
It's a
What
Flat
would you be
Earth
the
book,
mind of
man.
then, though?
I mean,
What would you be the mind of
What's
then?
that's a good question. I would be the mind of incredibly confused and like wandering this earth, wondering what the hell's going
You would
on.
be the
to
mind
totally
of
honest.
vectors.
Really?
Yeah.
Mind of
That
I
seems
would
a
be the
bit
mind
over
of-
dramatic, don't you think?
No, I mean, only
I mean,
for
this
me
is
though,
good
God,
over
because I put a lot of time in this, so I would have to undo a lot of sins, honestly, a lot of wasted energy. So yeah, I mean,
Well,
it is dramatic.
No, I mean, I mean to characterize it as I'm gonna be wandering the streets, confused and alone as to what my purpose is on this earth and everything. Like, I don't know, that just seems very dramatic to me, and I don't know, that seems a bit ridiculous in my opinion.
Well, I just think a lot of us religious people, not just me, even people who are deeper in it. Yeah, I mean, we have to really evaluate, like, why were we in this? You know, like, I'd have to look at my intentions. You know, like, why did I get involved in this basically lying cult? I got duped into this crap, basically.
Do you think any other
No.
people that use the Bible as a basis of Flat Earth would follow your thinkings? Or are you alone in this, do you think?
I think people that are honest, who are using the Bible for their own true edification and wanting to connect with this creator that could be the one that's in the Bible. Yeah, I mean, they have to be honest. You can't cherry pick the Bible and be like, yeah, I love the parts where Jesus says all these great things and yada, 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 but ignore the fact that in the last book, he comes across as an absolute terror looking to annihilate almost the whole entire earth. Like, that is also the same God. You can't cherry pick the Bible. And I don't care what kind of Christian you are. I'll get in their face too. Like, you're not allowed to, just like we debate with Flat Earth, Ball Earth, we can't cherry pick our Flat Earth observations. You can't cherry pick your Ball Earth. So I'm not going to let people cherry pick the Bible either. The Bible is extremely difficult to understand. The God in the Bible comes across he honestly seems like a madman. I'll be like, that's, if anyone doesn't freely admit that as a Christian, in my opinion, they're being dishonest. So they should not
I think
be taken
anyone
seriously.
can agree that God is a psycho if you read the Bible.
Agreed. Yeah, and it gets worse in the last book because he's on a freaking warpath. You know, he's just on a rampage.
This, yeah, you still worship and follow this.
I wouldn't say I worship, man. I'm just like observing. Like, I'm not saying this to sound pure or righteous, but I don't have any financial incentive in this. If you guys are right, I'm not going to cry or whatever. Like, I will just admit I was wrong. You know, like, I thought it was going to happen and it didn't. But if it does happen, I have to just be totally fair and invest some time to like warn people, you know, that I just consider that is not a good thing, that a government forces people to do anything that does not serve a practical purpose. So that's my like little contribution.
So so then can you say that you're really following or a Christian or whatever you would consider yourself religious, because you're taking the stance of, I'm not sure if it's true or not, and if it's not true, I didn't really lose anything. So that's not really true belief then, right? So you're basically just one of us. You're just hedging. You're trying to hedge your bet on, you know, if you're correct, then you would go to heaven, but you wouldn't because you don't honestly, truly believe.
I would say I'm just I'm a realist. Like, I honestly consider, I like people who ask about faith and stuff, and like, not all this like theoretical crap like God told me to bring you this message and, you know, pay me $100. I find that to be the deepest form of evil ever in humanity. And so I think in the very least, you know, I'm not trying to lump your community all in one, but we agree on that as being evil. So we do have some things in common. And like, yeah, I can't tell you I've had a spiritual encounter with God. I haven't. I'm just reading the book, seeing what's happening in the world. It seems technologically possible, just as an engineer, and it doesn't seem like the government should be able to get away with that. And you know, even Sean Hufford and those guys and Craig, I think, would echo this too. Like, for a government to have that much influence to like put something in our body, I don't think that would make anybody comfortable. I think a lot of people, if this thing happens, we're going to find out who the real virtuous people are on Earth, and I think it will be surprising. I think a lot of religious people will sell out, and I think a lot of quote unquote atheists will be like, "F this! Like, government's not putting shit in my body. I don't care
You are
who
an
the
atheist,
hell."
though. You are agnostic at the least, though.
I would say atheism characterizes my life more than incredible faith. You know, I haven't done anything Mother Teresa does or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us are atheists if we're honest. Like, how can we imagine a God creating billions of people and an Earth and all that universe? Like, that's like, who does that? Like,
I'm so confused. But you believe in the mark of the beast. Like, how can you believe in?
Oh, no, I can't guarantee you it's going to happen, but I believe it's possible. And I believe, for me personally, I'm not giving God more than 5 years, because to me, I've already expended a lot of energy on this religious stuff. So me personally, is that standard Christian lingo? Probably not. But I don't know. I don't like a lot of religious people, to be totally honest, and I don't trust them either. So I'm not going along with them either. So I'm just being, this is my perspective, what I've seen. And anybody who's like, this thing will happen or has already happened, you know, and all this kind of stuff, and being vague about it, to me, like, you need to have an opinion on this if you're a Christian, because it's right in front of us.
You're no longer
It's
mind
right
of
here.
God. You're agnostic, so you're mind of Steve now. That is your new.
Mine, like, I'm observing.
that is
No,
your
I'm
new
just like, dude, I'm waiting to see what happens, just like you guys, man. And if it's never forced, it doesn't come out,
We're
and
not
all
waiting to see what
that,
happened,
you know.
though. That's
It's,
the thing.
Okay,
We're
hold
not waiting
on.
to see what happened. Go ahead.
If I could ask, mind of God, how would you honestly know that it will never happen? Or like, how would you know if the time is past for it to happen? Like, I'm just wondering, what is your process for determining like when that time is actually passed?
I just think if the technology advances, but it's just made voluntary and it stays that way for a while, you know, it'll be. It's not what it is, you know. It's like, if the government never forces us to do anything in our body, like just fundamentally, then yeah, then it cannot get fulfilled then. So it's a joke. The whole Bible is a joke then. It's trash.
Okay. Okay. So, but that didn't exactly answer my question, because like, as long as the technology does exist, then it's possible that the government could force it on us, like, in the future. So, I mean, like, I'm wondering, like, is there a time frame after like the bio RFIDs become like easily available to people, that like there's a time frame in which it's got like a you know, like an expiration date? Like, how much time has to pass in order for you to agree that it's not going to happen?
That's why I think 5 years is plenty. So I think even that's a lot.
Okay, so in 5 years, you're going to come out of this whole funk, right?
If it is not forced, yeah, you will get a deep apology from myself.
2024.
Wait.
Let's mark it here.
Yeah, 20. But you guys have to be fair. If this happens, you will remember that Indian kid that was kind of annoying, you know, and talked about orthogonality. You will think about me and be like, hey, maybe my calculations on the ball Earth were incorrect. You know, maybe this could be what he's saying. So keep in mind.
Well, see, no, because that's a thing about the revelation of the end times and everything like that, and the mark of the beast. That has no bearing on whether or not the Earth is a sphere. The Earth could very well be a sphere, and the Armageddon come like you think it is. So it has no bearing on whether or not the Earth is a sphere.
But check this out.
Like, we have mathematics and physics on our side.
But if it's a sphere, then to me, and if the government does force it, then it's not what the Bible says, because the Bible is a flat Earth book. So it's just a coincidence, you know. So I would say there's no reason to not take it. If the Earth is a ball, go take it, because the Bible's false. You know, I would take it. I guess that's what I would say. If the Earth is proven to be a ball, and this quote unquote mark of the beast comes out, I would take it, because what difference does it make? Like, it's not the Bible is not predicting that, because the Bible is a flat Earth book. So yeah, I would take the mark of the beast if the Earth is absolutely proven to be a ball. Like, NASA gets their stuff together and we can start seeing things, or however it's done. So yeah, the mark of the beast prophecy is a
is it still the mark of the beast if you don't believe in that kind of stuff?
I mean, if the Bible ends up being right and people take it, there's a punishment there. That's when it's the mark of the beast. If you take it and there's no punishment, yeah, it isn't the mark of the beast. It's just a convenience. So my job is to warn, as even though
crazy.
we don't know each other personally, but yeah, that's
Christians
have not done a good job of that. Yeah.
Guess who just got a link?
EdgeWyze?
Who?
No. It's just about to go down. Your hero, Mind of God.
Who's this?
Oh God, his RussianVids come in.
Oh man, RV. He's like family that I've never met. You know.
GE, have you ever had a run-in with
even flat earthers hate this guy. You realize
that, right? With RussianVids, GE?
How can you hate RussianVids?
I've seen where he's made very disparaging remarks and he's been kicked off the show before.
Yeah, but he got kicked off. I think it was the OJ thing that he was on. I think. Did we kick him off? I can't remember.
That was a cool episode, man.
For who? I was.
Well, he was just going so deep, man. Like it was just like, man, I remember that OJ case like vividly. We would like sit around the TV at our high school looking at the outcome. People were cheering. Some people were like upset. Like it was such a major issue. Even in a small town in Canada, we were like glued to that. Like to think that it was all a lie is like, it's just wild to think that that whole thing was like a sham. Like we were following something.
Can I just say, EdgeWyze, you're in the chat too. I'll email you a different link because I used your link for Mind of God. Hold on, we'll get you in here too. We'll just have a big old party.
Hey, Kyle, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, RussianVids.
How you doing, Kyle? Everybody else?
Good, man. What about you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, the truth is not about being popular. This is not a popularity contest, guys. That's not why I do what I do. If I want to do that, I'd be a ball earther.
Okay.
So that's just nonsense.
Okay, you're coming in a little hot. Can we kind of cool our
Where
jets
did
down?
that come
I'm
from?
hot-blooded. That's my style. That's how I go.
Please.
Where in this show have we mentioned popularity or anything?
Well, didn't Godless engineers say, "Oh, he's not that popular with other flat earthers"? Who said that?
Oh no! I said that even other flat earthers hate you because that's a fact.
You mean Dell? You mean Dell? After I exposed Dell, I don't care.
Oh no, not just Dell.
I can care less.
Okay.
Listen, guys, I've been at this for a long time. Before you guys were around, I was doing this, okay? Covering many topics before you guys.
Russian. Let's spray some chemtrails on this stuff and cool down a little bit, okay?
No, chemtrails are not what you think they are. They're just weather control, okay? That's just a bunch of garbage as well with this geoengineering nonsense, okay? So don't pass me off. Don't strawman me. Hey, don't strawman me. I'm not Alex Jones. Don't put me in his book. Okay, it's just weather control. That's it.
I think you're in your own book, box, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, it was just a joke, but all right.
Yeah, keep with your putting your head down and the facial expressions. That's like everybody does on NonSequitur, with the
It's
always,
because you're cringy, man.
like actors. No, it's always the overdoing it with the facial expressions and all the face palms, and it's just nonsense.
Do you not think it's warranted sometimes though, RV?
So in some cases, yes. Unfortunately, it is. I've listened to like I say, Kyle, on Twitter to you, some instances where it is warranted, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we do this every day, so it gets kind of but that's neither here nor there. What's the latest conspiracy? Like, what's going on with numerology and all that?
What do you think of the blue lights?
It's been around for thousands. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. Chaldean, Pythagorean numerology. This is nothing new. It's been around forever.
Yeah, but it also
one
means
thing, Kyle, I do want to clarify. Kyle, if I can clarify one thing with you.
Sure.
The last time I was on with you and Steve, I kept getting got interrupted by Steve and muted. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to clarify about Dr. Oz. When I was trying to make a statement about him in vaccines, I kept getting cut off. the point I wanted to make was Dr. Oz, because you said, oh, he's an idiot, Kyle, and so did Steve. The point I was trying to make was he said he gets vaccinated, but he can't convince his own wife and children to get vaccinated. But I never got to that point because I kept getting cut off. So you got to hear the whole shebang to get what I'm getting at. That he claims he gets vaccinated. Right. He claims he does.
Hey, RussianVids, do you know what vaccines do? Do you know what vaccines do? They cause adults.
This is the problem with vaccines. The problem with vaccines is not the vaccines themselves, it's the preservative mercury they put in vaccines. Okay?
What is that?
That's the problem. Mercury.
Okay,
a preservative.
Hold on. RussianVids, can I ask you a question though?
Ask me a question.
Where did you get your medical degree from to be able to make these kind of broad statements?
Well, first off, I know someone that works in a hospital. That's a nurse. And she was recommended.
That's exactly like a doctor degree. You might as well be like a medical doctor, right?
Let's hear.
If anybody wants a heart bypass,
let's hear where he goes with this.
First off, you know, I'm not the only one saying this. There's plenty of doctors and nurses that are against vaccinations. Okay, this is a fact. Okay, you can laugh all you want, make all the faces you want, but this is a fact. I know a nurse. Okay, by the recommendation of her doctor, she was recommended to get vaccinated. She did. Guess what? She ended up with a son that has autism. Okay, she has to live with that the rest of her life. Okay, so there's many doctors, many nurses that are anti-vaccinations. I believe in a creator. I believe the creator gave us everything we need to survive. Fruits, vegetables. You know, you want to find a cure? You know, you do the natural route. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You got to have a proper diet. I'm 45. Never been to the hospital in my life. Never. For myself, I've dropped off people.
That could be the problem, RussianVids.
No, that's the solution. Eating right, taking care of yourself, Kyle. You don't need to get vaccinated. You don't need all this the pharmaceutical garbage.
No, okay. The lawyers want us to specify that eating good cannot cure you of anything that vaccines protect you from. Like you can't eat a salad and cure yourself of fucking smallpox.
Did you hear what I just said? You're not listening. Clean the earwax out of your ears. I said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That means you got to take care of yourself before it gets bad. Once you get in a state where you're screwed, then you're going to need the pharmaceutical industry, unfortunately, because you're beyond the point of help. That's why you have to take care of yourself before you get to that point. You understand?
I'm sorry, but no amount of fucking salads that you eat in your lifetime can't protect you when you lick a fucking smallpox patient, okay? That's just not what happens.
By the way, the NonSequitur Show does not endorse
the correlation between... How do you explain the correlation between vaccines being introduced and smallpox disappearing completely? How would you explain that?
Well, first off, we never heard about autism back in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
That's not what I just said.
It was,
clean the earwax out your ears.
That's the point. What?
No, but that's a good point. That's a valid point.
I'm making a point leading up to that.
How about you respond to what I just asked you? A direct question. All right? How come when vaccines were introduced, smallpox disappeared? Just answer that question directly.
You didn't hear what I said in the beginning here, Fight the Flat Earth. I said in the beginning, the vaccines are not the problems themselves. It's the preservative. It's the mercury. It's one element in there that's causing this issue. That's the problem.
What issue?
Because there was vaccinations. Hold on. There was vaccinations years and years ago. It wasn't an issue. It's until they introduced the mercury as a preservative.
What issue?
Autism. You hear what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm not autistic. I've had vaccines.
Well, you have to understand.
It doesn't. 99.9999999% of the people that have ever had vaccines aren't autistic. You're just making shit up because you're a fucking psycho.
Just shut up for a second. I'll explain. Everybody's body chemistry is different.
Well, you're not going to explain. You're going to shout about a bunch of nonsense. You are just a conspiracy theorist, nothing more. Everything, any tiny little thing that you want to try and disagree with, you're going to do it because that's just how your brain works. You look for conspiracies, you look for problems that aren't there. You are stupid. All right, you are
No,
literally
you're
bringing the
stupid.
IQ of the human race down.
Go back to playing
Great
video games.
response.
Go back
Well
and
done.
own
Great. No, you're
Xbox.
stupid.
Hold on. Let's calm
Yeah,
down.
I love
Let's
Xbox.
calm down. Okay,
Video games are great.
fight the fat. Let's let RussianVids make
fight the
his
fat
point here.
Fight the fat Earth. Yeah, it's kind of fat.
Hey, no. Okay, come on. Make your
lost
point
full
about the
stone in a
vaccines and the
year.
mercury.
What I'm getting at is this: you have to understand. There's money in medicine. There's no money in eating. Buying food from the grocery stores that are, say, organic. There's no money in that for the pharmaceutical industry. It's a business. It's a business.
Do you know how much
And you-
like each vaccine costs and makes them? It would not be worth the fucking effort to make that into a conspiracy. That's just stupid.
No,
if you're
well,
going to say something,
absolutely
at
not.
least think
How
before you
much-
open your mouth.
How
You're
much
just
is the
spouting nonsense.
pharmaceutical industry worth? How much they make a year? Billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars. Don't give me that garbage.
Yeah, and how many
that's a flat-out
people's
lie.
lives does the pharmaceutical industry save? All right.
Okay, hold on.
developing
Before
technology.
I agree with you, fight the flat Earth. But RussianVids, can you please explain to us, just so that we're all starting off on the same foot here, explain to us how vaccines are supposed to work?
I already said that there's the vaccines themselves is not the issue. It's the preservative called mercury they have inside them. That's the issue. It's like, listen to me.
Okay.
It's like, go ahead.
I asked you, how do they work? Can you please, just for my own amusement, explain to me how vaccines are supposed to prevent us from getting shit like smallpox and measles and stuff?
Well, it's supposed to build up the immune system to combat any type of viruses.
Okay.
Basically that sums it up. It's not complicated.
Well, I mean, that's a
Don't make
very
it
very
complicated.
surface level explanation. I'm just glad that you actually
Everything
know
is simple.
like
You just
how
wanna
they
make everything
work and
complicated.
everything.
Well, okay, can I just
What?
point
Don't make
something
these
out?
complicated.
RussianVids, can I just ask, do you know how to use Google? Because I've literally
don't.
just done a Google search, right? I've literally just done a Google search, and the Google search was, do current vaccines contain mercury? And the answer is no. They don't. The flu
That's
shot from
false.
2017, there is no mercury in the 2017 UK flu shot. No such claim was ever made, and there's about 25 links here that can link you to proof that there
That's
isn't
false.
the mercury that you claim in.
Hey, fight the
So,
flat Earth.
There's a. Go ahead, guys. Go
Fight
ahead.
the
Just
flat Earth.
saying.
Did you know that hydrogen? What is it? Dihydrogen oxide.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah, dihydrogen monoxide.
You guys drinking or what?
Did you know that can kill you?
Yeah, what I
I
heard
mean, if
was
you
over
take
80
too
years
much of
it
it-
affects your body.
Too much
Yeah.
water.
No, it's this stuff you breathe called oxygen. Over your lifetime, it actually ends up doing a lot of damage to you and you die. RussianVids.
Oh fuck! Why
just
am I
shut
breathing?
up, please.
No, dude,
fight
you guys
fight
gotta
the
admit
fat
that,
Earth, no.
that doesn't make sense, man.
Stop drinking that
Like,
vodka, by the way. This is killing you.
vaccines
Listen, guys,
don't
this
make
is what
sense.
Is that all you got? Personal insults. I can call you stupid because that's a fact. All right? You've got
No,
nothing.
you're fat and stupid. Okay, you're just brainwashed.
I'm not fat.
Yeah.
Right? I've lost 4 stone over the last year. So thanks for pointing out that, everyone. I've lost 4 stone and I feel great. So thanks
you
for
know-
that.
What kind of stones were
And
they?
The
you
way I
are
operate is
stupid
this.
What kind of
because
stones
you're
were
one of
they?
the most conspiratorial people
Kyle,
that I've ever
listen,
met.
Kyle. Listen, this is how I operate, Kyle. People are respectful to me. I'm respectful to them. People want to play like dirty pool. They want to mudsling. I could do that route too.
Sure.
I can do either one.
Go for it.
Just tell it to your people here.
Go for it. Well, I
Dude,
mean,
you've driven me to drinking tequila at
I
3 or
never
4 o'clock
swear. I
in the
never
morning.
curse.
my only request from everyone is that we don't talk over each other. That's the only rule that I have. If you want to get passionate and
Okay.
heated, I'm fine with that. But when you talk over each other, the people who are listening can't understand what you're saying, and so that's just my
Yes.
biggest pet peeve. Other than that, I mean, as long as you're just not all of you not talking about just complete nonsense that has nothing to do with a point that you're bringing up or that they're bringing up, then I say, go for it. See where it takes you.
Guys,
That's
here's
fine.
what
I'm just-
we.
like I said. Go ahead.
You guys are almost helping us. What I struggle with, and I want to understand, and I ask sincerely, and I'm not trying to come across better, but like, why does it take us to like twist your arm to talk about the incredible amount of evil in the world? Like, why is there apprehension. I can't think of the right word. Like, why is this such a big thing for us to talk about? There's so much out there. Like, vaccines, okay, they may not be like studied yet and what the effects are and all that kind of stuff, but that's not it. We should agree that that's not mandatory. Like, you don't need that to like.
Whoa! What, mind of God? Like, we don't know the effects of vaccines? I'm sorry, vaccines create adults. That's what vaccines do. Vaccines do not cause autism. They don't do any of that shit. Okay. And for you to say, "Oh, we don't know what the fuck they do," that's just disingenuous.
Yeah, how do you know that without like what's the?
I have actual doctors and nurses and all that other kind of shit that back me up. Well, not doctors, not really nurses, because nurses aren't going to produce those kind of studies. But I mean, obviously, medical doctors that do actual research that debunked the original study that you guys all masturbate with. That has been debunked time and time again. The people that put it out, they have been debunked several times. So I don't want to hear this shit about how they're linked to autism, because they're not.
Okay. How many doctors have been on even Fox News or CNN saying that they don't get vaccinated, or their families? Besides Dr. Oz, there's been many doctors. Just look it up.
You know,
it's all over YouTube.
RussianVids.
What's that?
It's all over YouTube.
They're all fake news.
It must be
what I'm
fucking
getting at
true.
is this: there's a debate, between doctors and nurses about vaccination. It's not like, oh, it's just a fringe thing, Kyle. There's many.
Oh no! It is a fringe thing. That's where you're completely wrong.
No, it's not. You want to twist it. That's fine.
RussianVids,
that's not
just
the truth.
one sec. RussianVids, one sec. For you to say it's not a fringe thing would mean that it would have to be within like at least quarter or something of the population of doctors. I can guarantee you that at least 99% of doctors will completely 100% agree with vaccines. Right?
Well,
there is it's fringe and nothing else. It is only conspiracy people that think there's a problem with vaccines.
Just hold on here. Well, you guys need to understand something very, very simple when it comes to, for example, something like toothpaste, fluoride toothpaste. It all goes to the CDC. These are government pamphlets you get that the doctors and the dentists see, and they go by that. They're not doing any actual experiments in their own dentistries. They're just in their dentist office. They're just going by the information that the CDC gives them. Okay. So
wait, and you think no one's done any studies on how fluoride works on teeth?
I'm going to give you a good example. Kyle, I mentioned this to you before. There's this one dentist of 25 years. For 25 years, he was aggressively pushing fluoride. After 25 years, he came to the conclusion, looking at patients that use fluoride toothpaste and use non-fluoride toothpaste, he noticed his patients that use non-fluoride toothpaste have better teeth. They don't have dental fluorosis. He's saying, what's going on here? He did his own research and realized that fluoride's actually causing damage. So why are we using fluoride toothpaste? Now he's aggressively pushing non-fluoride products. Okay? Understand, fluoride was first used as rat poison in Germany. This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. Okay? Go chemical free.
Okay, no,
you guys want to push chemicals.
That is completely
garbage.
That is directly opposite to what actual studies, not just anecdotal bullshit stories you've heard in chain letters that have been emailed to you. Okay? Actual studies have. Hey, hold on. I'm fucking talking right now. Don't talk over me. Actual studies that are done on. Hey, fucking shut the fuck up. Goddamn, RussianVids.
Say it.
Actual studies that have been done that show when fluoride has been removed, teeth decay has increased, or like the overall health quality, oral health of people has decreased. This is shown in multiple studies across the board. So I don't want to hear your bullshit anecdotal stories that you don't have evidence for, and there's no reason for me to actually believe it.
No, you don't have to believe
but wait,
fluoride was first used as rat poison in Germany. It's a fact. It's not disputable.
If you read a gloss, you technically probably don't even need the product. You know what I mean? Like the whole need for toothpaste is probably artificial. Like if you're eating well, you're cleaning your mouth, it's kind of built in.
What about this, RussianVids? Measles outbreaks
No.
grows in what? No.
Whatever mind of God just said is
oh.
condemned.
You agree with it?
He just
Measles
said that
outbreaks.
brushing your teeth isn't necessary.
Oh, hold on. Let me see what he
You see
says.
pearly
Measles
whites?
outbreak grows in area with low vaccine. God, all these ads with low vaccination rate. Most patients not immunized. So what about this? This tends to say that in this area where people don't have or don't take vaccines, that there is now a measles outbreak. So what would your response be to that?
Well, again, it gets back to the whole stem of the problem, where it's the one ingredient. It's like, it might sound off topic, but it's the exact same thing. Something like Coke, where it has high fructose corn syrup. Everything else there is not going to kill you, but that one ingredient. And like I said, the mercury is the issue with the vaccines. I don't have an issue with anything else that's included in the vaccinations. It's the preservative.
Hold on.
That's the
not
problem.
What,
That's what I'm getting at.
That's not what I'm asking here. What I'm asking here is,
But they don't add that to vaccines now.
Yeah, it seems that this is
Okay.
that this area right here that has a population of people that is concentrated that didn't get immunized. Now they are seeing a rapid increase in measles. So apparently, the vaccines was at the very least preventing that disease from widespreading again. It is here. So, in this scenario, is it not better to have those vaccines so that stuff like this does not happen?
Well, as long as there's nothing harmful added to the vaccines, I don't have a problem with vaccines. That's the issue. That's what I'm getting at. Look, I want to just say this real quick. When it comes to body chemistry, everybody's body reacts differently to certain compounds, certain chemicals added to the body. So, for example, why is 1 in 88 kids, 1 in 88 males getting autism from the vaccinations? It's because, again, it depends on the individual. Kyle, you and I
have you got proof that...
for example, hold on.
RussianVids, I'm sorry, but if you're going to make a statement like that, you're going to need to back it up. You're going to need to prove that it's the vaccines that cause the autism.
Hold on, everybody. We have to let each other finish our thoughts because it's just getting jumbled. And if we talk over each other,
can I say I really would like him to back up what he's just said, though.
No,
I would really like him to back up what he's just said. The vaccines cause autism.
We will make sure
constantly butt in.
We will make sure that
Go ahead, Kyle.
that he answers.
You talk nonsense, you fool.
Okay.
You're an idiot.
Go ahead, RussianVids, and then we'll go to fight the flat Earth.
Yeah, I'm going to make it real quick. Thanks, Kyle. It's something simple as this. You and I can go, for example, I don't eat meat, but we can both go to, get a steak dinner. Eat the same steak. You can get sick. I won't. We have different chemistries. We have different, everybody's body reacts differently to different chemicals, to different scenarios. Someone can smoke cigarettes. For example, Kyle, you can smoke cigarettes your whole life. And your roommate who doesn't smoke can get, lung cancer from secondhand smoke. This is how the body is. Everybody's body is different, reacts differently to different chemicals and different situations. It's just proven.
Okay, fight the flat Earth and
It's
then
not so
Godless
simple. That's
Engineer.
what I'm getting at.
Right. I would just, he's just outright stated that vaccines cause autism. I want proof of that. You can't say something like that if you don't have hard evidence.
Do you have sources, RussianVids?
Yes. I don't have
them
them
to
right
me?
in front of me. You can just look up. You can look up many, like I said, many doctors online and nurses.
Now, are
they're
these studies,
protesting,
though, Russian-Vids? Like, they can't just
are
be
they actually like
some
peer-reviewed
side
studies
doctor
that-
saying that, this didn't work. Like, they have to be actual peer-reviewed studies. Do you have that?
Well, that's the problem, Kyle, is these peer-reviewed studies are coming from government sources that are pushing these vaccinations.
No, they're not.
Oh.
No,
Yes,
sorry, they're
they
not.
are.
Peer-reviewed studies do
Where
not
they
come
coming
from
from?
government organizations. That's
It
not
doesn't
how
come from the
peer-review works.
CDC. It doesn't come from the
Like,
CDC.
you know what? Like, RussianVids, you're talking over me now. Shut your fucking mouth, you rude prick.
Yeah,
right?
RussianVids, we gotta be fair.
You are a piece
Okay.
of garbage.
Bite me, twat. Right? You need to prove these things you're saying because you are literally just spouting nonsense. Honestly, it's just any conspiracy that comes up, you're going to jump on it. You haven't got anything apart from anecdotal rubbish and complete misinformation and a misunderstanding of any kind of fact. You don't have the slightest idea of what any kind of truth is. All right? So stop saying that you're a truther because you're not. You're far too dumb to be a truther.
You came out of nowhere to start doing truth videos. I've been at this for over a decade. You come out of nowhere and get propped up.
And what's that got to do with absolutely
with your
anything?
music band, like someone's not propping you up from behind the scenes. You're just like, you're just like
Someone's
you just
propping
come
me
in
up
the
from
scene out
behind
of
the
nowhere.
scenes.
You're a fraud, dude. You're a fraud. I can see right through
Craig,
you.
are you Nathan?
Okay? You're not
Dude, just be
organic.
honest. Are you?
You're production.
I'm a
You're
fraud.
production.
Russian vids. Are you saying that I've got
Now
good
you're
production
shaking.
and therefore I'm a fraud?
Fight the flyer. You're shaking now.
Shaking.
He's not shaking.
Let me say
Russian
this,
vids.
let me say this real quick.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question. Russian vids, shut your mouth.
Hold on.
Russian vids, shut up. I want to ask you a question. All right. Do you think I am being propped up on YouTube by somebody else? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
And why?
Absolutely.
Why are you saying that? For what reason?
You agree,
Because
Mind
you're
of
not
God?
organic. You came out of nowhere. You fight the flat earth. You have a band. Singing a song, Fight the Flat Earth, selling your merchandise. You're doing all kinds of stuff that's just not organic. You're not
Craig,
organic. You're propped up.
Your name doesn't help.
Okay,
you.
right.
You got
I'll talk about the band. I have a very good friend called Sam who happens to be in that band, and he offered to make me the song. Okay? So what? I know someone that's in a band. I want to discuss this because there's been a lot of this. There's been a lot of suggestions of me being propped up on YouTube, and I want to understand what this actually means. So, because I've got someone that's in a band,
Well, you're in the media.
And
you're in the media. You're connected.
Me and the media are connected.
Simple.
In what way? In what way are me and the media connected?
On Scottish, weren't you on Scottish TV?
No.
True or false? Okay, which TV program were you on?
You're referring to a YouTube channel that belongs to a company called Esports Scotland, who is also something that's run by one of my friends, and I once presented a couple of shows for them on their YouTube channel. No, I wasn't on TV. How about you do some research before you start spouting nonsense?
So you went from an Xbox pusher to pushing the BS.
No, right, okay.
Earth.
Let's talk about the Xbox channel. All right. Yes, I had a channel. Shh. Right, I had a YouTube channel called Married to Xbox because me and my wife are both gamers and we play video games together. So for a laugh, we recorded shit and put it online. All right? And we stopped doing that because we had to move house. And then when we were settled here, I decided to start up a new YouTube channel. So in what way does that equal me being propped up on YouTube?
Craig, dude, that interview was like madness, bro. We know it was fake, dude. Like that, don't do stuff like that, man. Like that fake flat Earth X thing, man. Stop that. Like, please, dude. Like, for the sake of baller, stop doing it.
Ashton Kutcher is gonna jump out of like my closet and tell me that I'm punked. That this can't be this can't be what's going on.
No,
so
can I
Russian Vids, what were you saying about the production of my videos?
Wow.
Russian Vids, what were you saying about the production of my videos?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything about you is not organic. Usually when people first jump on a YouTube making truth videos, they have a build-up. They have a couple hundred subs. I know people that have been around for 8-10 years. They only have 1,000 subs, 1,500 subs. Some have 15,000. Well, you jumped from nowhere to being propped up, obviously.
We did the same thing, Russian Vids. Do you think that we are being propped up?
Well, Kyle, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't have evidence of that, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'm
bastard. Who told you?
I've been on YouTube for
signs.
I've been on YouTube for 2 months and I've got about 5,000 subscribers. Why is that so unbelievable?
That's amazing. That's a lot, dude.
Because I've been around YouTube for a very long time, and I've seen many organic channels that struggle to get views, and you just get propped up right away, and there you are, boom, in the spotlight.
You keep saying propped up. I don't understand. What do you mean propped up? What do you mean propped up? Are my subs fake? Have I got a production company working with me? What do you mean propped up? I don't understand. I have just made some videos and people have watched them. There's nothing more to it, dude. What do you want me to say?
Bottom line is this, guys.
I am just a normal person.
Russian Vids, hold on. Somebody in the live chat just brought up a good point. Shannon Q, we all know and love Shannon Q. She had 1,000 subscribers before she even put one video up on her channel.
How did that happen?
Yeah, females, if she had a photo of herself and she's commenting in videos, and people are like, oh, she's cute, let me add her, let me sub to her. I've seen women.
Are you an
with,
incel?
Giant knockers, get 1 million subs. Not 1 million subs, but a bunch of subs. They're going to have video content.
Okay, let's not reduce Shannon to giant knockers for one thing. Okay, that's just really. That's not very. That's stupid. Second thing is second. I can't even remember my second point because you're just so fucking.
You've been drinking too much, pal. Lay off the booze. Put
No,
the
I haven't been
Right,
drinking
Russian Vids,
enough.
Let me say this, Kyle. Kyle, let me say
Russian
this, what
Vids,
people don't really talk
let-
about when it comes to flat Earth. This is the foundation of this lie. This ball Earth that's spinning at 1,100 miles an hour, traveling at 67,000 miles an hour around the sun, traveling at 500,000 miles an hour through space, this water rocket ball. This is the foundation of this lie. When the foundation of this world's a lie, everything after that lie is a lie as well. They have to continue the lie. Here's something I want to point out. All you geeks out there that talk about curvature of the Earth.
Geeks.
Oh, I seen the curve from my airplane. How was that when you have Neil deGrasse Tyson come out and say, from Neil Baumgartner's perspective, supposedly his space jump at 128,000 feet, he should not see any curve. The only reason you see curve is because of the fisheye lens. This is coming from Neil deGrasse Tyson himself. So how are you guys soundly going to get something of, say, just a little bit above ground level or out of an airplane, you can see the curve. When Neil deGrasse Tyson states you cannot see the curve of the Earth from 128,000 feet. Checkmate, guys.
Here's the first
checkmate.
thing. No, not checkmate. Neil deGrasse Tyson, even if he said that and that was the context he meant it in, he is not the end all be all of what shape the Earth is. You realize that he's a science communicator. He can be wrong, and he can maybe you're taking him out of context. I don't know. I haven't seen the quote, so I can't really speak to that.
He is taken out of context because Neil deGrasse Tyson said in most circumstances you can't see it at that high. But the fact is, if the conditions are right, you can see. Stop interrupting me, you rude twat.
You cannot see the curve of the Earth from 128,000 feet. It's flat.
Can someone mute him while I'm talking?
Flat.
I don't have to.
Damn.
Right. Now, the difference between seeing a curve side to side and what Soundly's observations are, that's really, really fucking simple because they're completely different X and Y axis. What are you expecting to see? What on a globe, what would you expect to see? No, answer my question. Don't explain anything else. Just answer my question, RussianVids. On a globe.
You're asking me a question, I'm going to answer it. If you're
Right,
at the beach,
I'll just reiterate the question. On a globe, what would you expect to see?
I'm answering right now. You're not letting me. I'm explaining it. If you're at the beach and you're looking from the beach, you're at the beach, you're looking straight ahead. Due to perspective, it looks like ships are going around the curve. You look left or right, you never see a ship go over the so-called curve of the Earth looking left or right. Why is that? Why is that?
Because
you only have 80
miles. Can I answer this? Please, can I answer this?
No,
right.
when
you're looking straight ahead, you are looking at the curve, right? You're looking straight ahead, you're looking towards the horizon. Now, if you look to the left slightly, you're still looking straight ahead towards the horizon. Every way you look, you are looking straight ahead towards the horizon. So you're not going to see a boat go left to right because whenever you're looking forward, you're looking towards the horizon and the curve is going away from you in every direction. That is basic geometry. Are you really that dense?
No, you're just stupid. You don't understand. You don't understand how the so-called ballers work.
I've just explained to you basic geometry that you don't understand, and I'm the stupid one.
It's supposed to
hold on.
Everywhere.
Hold on.
Not just looking straight ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Godless.
Okay.
Go ahead, Godless.
When you're looking at the horizon and you have, let's say, 80 miles in your field of view, what percentage of the curve are you looking at?
There's no curve. It's a horizon. It means horizontal. It's not.
No,
it's
okay.
not,
Assuming look, no.
That's not what horizon means,
assuming that there is a curve to the horizon and that the Earth is as big, like the diameter of the Earth and the circumference of the Earth is as big as we say it is. How much of a percent are you actually seeing of this horizon?
Well, it's hard to say. We don't know the full extent of the flat Earth. That's the problem. We don't know. It's hard to.
No.
That's not what we asked.
I was not talking about the flat Earth. I was talking about the spherical Earth. Like how big we say it is. No. Listen. Oh, goddamn, motherfucker. Look. Okay, it would be less than 1%. It's less than 1% of the curve. You can't see like the lateral curve of the Earth. With the field of vision that we have. That's why you have to be much higher in order to see visually the curve of the Earth laterally. But that's why we say that you can see the effects of the curve when ships go over the curve.
What you're asking us to see
let me
is
ask
what
you
you
this.
would see.
The so-called
Russian
gravity-
vids, wait, let me explain something first. All right, what you're expecting to see is what you would see if Earth were a cylinder. All right, that's what you're expecting to see if we were on a cylinder. That's not how it would work on a globe.
No.
Yes.
I didn't say that.
Yes, it's basic
You're
geometry,
strawmanning
dude.
me. I didn't
Okay,
say
let's
that.
let
I'm not
Russian
strawmanning you.
let's
I'm
let
telling you the
Russian
curve at
vids,
every angle.
guys. Let's let Russian vids respond.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. If we're on a so-called sphere, if you do a 360, you turn yourself around 360 and look around, it should curve evenly as you do your 360. It shouldn't. When you look left to right at the beach. Okay, but hold on.
No.
If you see a ship, if you look left to right, you see a ship. So you're all the way to your left at the say at the beach at the ocean, and you look to the right. Why don't you see a hump? And why don't you see, for example, both ships can see each other? There should be a hump if the Earth is curved. But when you look straight ahead, you have the supposed curve. That's due to perspective. It's that simple. It's that simple.
No, right. Now, let me explain to you what a horizon is. For start off. For start off, you're wrong. Horizon, horizontal. That's not what it means.
Perspective.
No, let me speak. Right. Let me speak. A horizon does not mean horizontal. Okay. It does not mean horizontal. Horizon comes from the Greek word meaning bounding circle. Okay. Now, what your horizon is literally a cross section of the globe you're on. If you were standing on the top of a globe and you look 360 degrees around you, you will see a flat line 360 degrees as you turn around, because a circle, which is the cross section of the globe, which is your horizon, is a 2D shape. You would not expect to see a curve if you were on a globe of a circumference of 25,000 miles. You would expect to see a flat line all around you, because that is how geometry fucking works.
With the radius of the ball Earth only 3,959 miles, the so-called curve of the Earth should be tremendous, based on those calculations. A measly 395.
Are you just going to ignore everything that I just said to you?
959 miles. That's ridiculous.
Are you going to ignore everything that I just said to you? Are you going to ignore everything that I just said to you?
Because you can't.
Are you just going to completely dismiss? I can, because that's how shapes work.
I'm just telling you.
This is very basic stuff. This is just shapes. Okay.
It's called sea level for a reason. It's called sea level for a reason. It is level.
No, again, you're wrong. Okay? Sea level is a reference point. Sea level can be at any point around the planet. Okay. Sea level is literally an indication of how far you are above sea level. Sea level is the same point all around the planet. Okay. So you can be 20,000 meters above sea level, and you're going to be 20,000 meters above sea level, whether you're above Antarctica, you're above Africa, or you're above the South Pole. Sea level does not mean what you think it does. Okay.
No, it's literal. It's very literal. Let me ask you this: when you have these, for example, ISS, supposed outer space, you have all these satellites in space, and they can zoom in to people's, front yards. You can see some people's backyards. Why don't they zoom in on the side of the ball Earth, and why don't we see ships and planes going around the so-called ball Earth? Why doesn't ISS? They always have this vantage point of the ball Earth. Why don't they get like a 360 pan out in outer space and see what's behind them? Everything is so generic.
Let me ask you this:
why? Yeah, that's a good question. Why don't we see those things?
Yeah. Why don't?
Let me ask you. No, this is a better question, Ed. This is a better question. Why do you think NASA need to do what you? Why do you think NASA need to do what you say? NASA know that the Earth's a ball. They don't care what you idiots think. So they are not going to put money and effort into proving anything to you. Okay. Now you're asking us to see upside. I'm talking. Stop interrupting. You're asking us to see upside down people and shit. All right. You're asking us to see upside down people and planes going over the edge. No. What the fuck are you on about? We could easily take a photo and turn it upside down and meet your criteria. You're asking the most ridiculous things because you do not understand. No, shut up. I'm talking. You don't understand scale. Will you shut up when I'm talking, please? Shut up.
Go ahead, Bean Brain. Go ahead.
Seriously.
Go ahead.
Right. You don't understand scale. You don't understand three-dimensional space, and you don't understand reality. Once you can do these three things and explain these three things, then maybe you can try and explain some things to people. But right now, you are not in any position to explain anything because you don't even understand the most basic parts of physics and geometry. Okay?
I understand. All you need is the foundation of what's happening in this world.
You don't have a foundation.
If you climb on top of a mountain, Kyle, here's an example. You climb on top of a mountain. What's the first thing you do? You want to take a 360 look and see everything. These goofballs, supposed in outer space, they have this one static camera looking at Earth. never appears to the left, never appears to the right, never goes behind them.
I don't climb mountains.
It's all garbage.
Russian vids. I don't do mountains.
Yeah, me either. It's safer not to.
Why? Okay, but why would even panning around convince you if it's all fakery? Like, I don't understand this particular.
EdgeWyze is here.
What?
EdgeWyze is here.
Because it's the real world that we're dealing with? Like, if ISS is just producing CGI fakery images, then why would you accept it as evidence?
And listen, you answer this one, and then we've got to cut it short, RussianVids, because our guest that was scheduled is actually here now. So and it's just going to be too many people with everybody in the. Well, let me make sure. Edge, can you hear us?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Let me say goodbye to RussianVids and Mind of God. Any last minute things you guys want to say before we say goodbye to you, and then get on, because this was explosive. So go ahead and take it.
I'll just say
whichever one.
I'll be real quick, Kyle. This is
go on, call me fat again.
This is the Shut up, bean brain. Listen, this is the foundation of this world, this lie system. And again,
you you're
when the foundation of the lie, everything after that lie is a lie as well. They have to continue the lie, Kyle. It's that simple. Okay, so we're not monkeys living on a spinning ball. You guys want to believe it. Your pride and ego is keeping you locked in a box. You refuse to see the truth because your pride and ego, all that time and money spent in universities, throw in the garbage. You know, your diplomas just use that.
I did. Look where I am.
Worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The dumb person telling me that I'm dumb because I'm smart. I love it. It's brilliant.
Okay. Thank you, RussianVids.
You can't prove your claims.
Take care of yourself.
Bye, dumbass.
RussianVids.
Bye, dumbass.
Stay away from. It's almost. We passed 11:33, but there's another 33 coming around after 12. So just make sure you watch out. All right. All right.
One last thing, Kyle.
Yeah.
One last thing, Kyle. I'll let you go.
Sure.
I want to do a one-on-one without these goobers over here, these goons, this buffoonery that's taking place with these guys. Me and you're respectful to me. I'm respectful to you. Back and forth. We can have a one-on-one conversation without all this rubbish that's taking place here. Because when I talk,
just a different kind of rubbish, right?
Well, call it what you want. Listen. I'm like a mirror. What you give me is what I give back. That's it. I'll end on that. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it.
So you're going to be fabulous. All right. Take care, RussianVids.
Fantastic.
Man, come on. I want to be on that show. Come on
Mind
now.
of God. Can you say a quick closing out so that we can get over to EdgeWyze?
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I did not say orthogonal once, so give me a bit of credit for that.
You just did, so we can't.
If you guys down the road, but if you guys down the road are what I'd be interested to talk about, the afterlife, not claiming anyone's going to hellfire, but I'd be very curious to know what you guys think of what happens when we all die, because in many ways that's what has bringing me to these kind of discussions, hoping that there's an afterlife. I'd just be curious to pick your brain, but thanks again for having me.
Yeah, man. Watch out for those RF chips. All right.
Yeah, don't take the market.
Oh, sorry. I clicked that while you're talking. My bad. All right.
He was going to say, don't take the mark of the beast.
Okay. EdgeWyze, here you are.
Yep.
Okay. So
what's up, EdgeWyze? How you doing, bro?
Fantastic. Yourself?
So let's do this.
I'm toasted as fuck, but we're doing this.
We're warmed up. Yeah,
now. I've had a few tequilas now. You're not going to run away this time, are you?
That was a killer build up. You got everybody warmed up now. So take us away, EdgeWyze. You made a video about Fight the Flat Earth and us telling us to man up. So how can we do that for you? How can we show that we're manning up?
I think I'm gonna need more tequila.
Well, you guys just say that everything that I show is coincidence, even though everything I show looks like what I say it is. I show a image from South America that looks like a giant bird beak next to feathers, mountains that look like feathers, and you say it's just a coincidence.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Are you on our Discord, EdgeWyze?
What's that?
Are you on our Discord?
No.
Okay, join our Discord. I'm gonna get in a private call with you on there, and you can share the screen, and I'll desktop capture it here so that you can take us around Google Earth and show us the things that you you want to show us?
What do you want me to do? This is new to me. You know, I've never.
Are you not on
done
Discord?
VMix.
I don't think
You've never been on
used
Discord?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Okay. So, how do you want to present your case then? Like, where do you want to? What do you want to do? How do you want to convince us?
Yeah, it's kind of hard without a visual reference. Well, you guys have seen my video.
Well, you can tell me what to pull up, and I can pull it up for you. Just tell me where to go.
I mean, if I'm honest with you, I struggled to even see an ego in that last video. Like, I had to like struggle to actually see what you were seeing. Like,
I'll bring it up.
You're just pointing out random shapes that are nothing. There's nothing. You literally. Yeah, like you titled a video. Like, your video is entitled "Pareidolia or Coincidence," and then you literally explained pareidolia and coincidence for 10 minutes.
Okay, here it is. So take us away, EdgeWyze. Where would you like to go in this video?
Just let it play. I guess I can't even see the whole screen on my phone. So
it's the eagle. I'm gonna turn your volume down so that you can walk us through it. But this shows a canyon on the left and then pictures of eagles on the right. Now, what's the significance of this?
It's a bird beak. It looks just like the eagle beak.
Right. It
right
looks
next
like
to
it. But what is it actually?
When you go to the ground view, it looks like hills from the street view.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like a mountain.
Okay, it looks like hills, but hills are still a far cry from a bird beak, an actual bird, right?
Well, if it was a massive being that was on this realm before our existence, it could be anything. It's an imprint of it. You guys don't know about mud fossils, I assume.
No, but let me ask you this: these things are the size of a. We'll get to mud fossils in a second, but these things are the size of. They're like, some of them are half of a size of a continent, right? Where were these things like flying around during the day or inhabiting? If they take up almost an entire continent, and there were multiple of them, obviously, because there are multiple dragons and eagles and whatever else animals. Where did they all like inhabit and roam around and like just chill?
Something to the degree of the spirit world. I don't think they were in the same dimensional plane as we are. I don't know how else to put it.
Okay, so if they're of a different spiritual plane, why did their remains stay here and fossilize?
I think that's all part of the plan. That's how we have fertile soil and ground that we can live off of. I mean, think about it. We take minerals out of the earth and make complex computers, TV, cell phones, what have you. Well, someone had to put those
I've got a
minerals
question for you. A lot of those areas, they've actually had excavations and stuff done there, and the materials have all been analyzed, and not any of the materials have come back as anything that could have been organic. When you have fossils, you actually can tell that they're fossils. Yet anything from any of these places you point out just turns out to be rock. We'd know if it was organic material, yet it's not. So how do you explain that?
Well, if these beings were here before the last cataclysm and they became the land...
but we'd still know that they were organic. We know how to tell what organic material is, and none of that is organic material. And, you know, what you're going with here is a completely unfalsifiable narrative around magic of some kind. Sorry?
You can't say that for sure because, you know, if
well,
these
you can,
things
because
existed
we
on
can analyze and know exactly what materials are. You know, we can break down materials to their like molecular structure. We can put things through centrifuges. We know what materials are and how to analyze them and have to figure out where they came from. And none of these materials are organic in any nature. We would know if it was the remains of a gigantic dragon or a gigantic eagle because it would show up when we did tests on these minerals and rocks.
Were you
but
there?
Never, ever has it ever come across that any of this material is organic off of some giant creature. And I'm pretty sure we wouldn't know.
Do that test? Do you know how to do that test?
Hey, Kyle, can you pause right now?
Yeah. right here.
Okay, so EdgeWyze, I want to speak sincerely now. The particular formation that you're pointing out here is looking like that Incan drawing or whatever kind of Central American artwork it is. Now, I can't help but to see Nicki Minaj twerking in this particular one. Who's to say that's not Nicki Minaj like twerking just on the face of the earth?
Because it's obviously not. Look at
how is it obviously not? It's obviously Nicki Minaj twerking to me.
Yeah, I can quite clearly see the imprint of
differently,
Nicki Minaj's eye.
Well,
I mean, it's right there. I mean, it's got a huge ass. It's Nicki Minaj to me, man.
How can you not see that? It's obvious.
The original depiction of his name is Pekal. He's got something coming out of his nose, and look at the formation on the side profile where his nose is. There's a mist coming out of it, and it's the same concept that's like depicted in the mural.
Do you see? Do you see what Godless Engineer's point is, though? EdgeWyze, like his point is that for what it looks like to you is completely different to what it looks like to someone else. Like he could actually pull out a picture from a magazine, let's say, and set it up there beside of it and show how it looks like to him. It's Nicki Minaj, and then how do we know who is correct and who isn't?
Well, let the video play. I got a side by side.
I know we saw it, but that doesn't answer my question. How do we know which of your two side-by-side pictures would be correct? If he can get an article out of a magazine that looks like Nicki Minaj bent over twerking and somehow line it up to where it sort of makes it out to look like that, who is going to say which of the evidence that you two put forth is the correct one? How do we determine that?
Look at the side-by-side image. The mist coming out of the nose is very tough.
Yeah, but here's my point, EdgeWyze. Like, it can't just come up to someone looking at something and saying, okay, because it looks more like this to me, this is the correct answer. There has to be an independent way to verify that is actually what it is. So what is?
It looks exactly like it.
Well, can I ask you about this specific image then? Do you know about the Pekal, the person that you're apparently saying this was? So this giant, which is probably like over 1,000 miles imprint, is of this Pekal person. Yet there's actually records of this person's birth, life, when he rose to the throne in July 1615 and ruled until his death in 68 years later. They know where he was buried. So at what point did this very, very human person who has a good record of his entire life become some kind of mystical imprint on mountains?
I couldn't tell you.
You're making this shit up.
Also, can I ask another thing?
Right after we do
the
this,
mist
GE,
coming
look at
out
your screen. Look at your screen, GE. What if? Who's to say that it's not this?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Look at it. And then the mist coming out of the nose, that's just her vape cloud. So I mean, I don't see how mine is invalid and yours is correct.
Now,
when Nicki Minaj can totally vape,
you can stick with that. I mean, that's fine by me.
Here's another question, real quick, EdgeWyze. What is this supposed to be? Like, if the eagle and the dragon are actual beings that have fallen and are now part of the topography, of the surface, what is the Incan or the Mayan guy supposed to be? If that's supposed to be what you're seeing from, is that an actual giant Mayan that is fossilized as well?
I've thought about this a lot. I think, this is what I think, that all of the land masses were stacked up like a hamburger, and this character, like, in a dimensional, spiritual way, burrows through it, and he distributed the land masses to make all the waterways.
That person was.
Hold on. What was this hamburger like a Burger King burger made our way? Or was it some other kind of hamburger, or was it like a multi-layered hamburger like you'd find in Scooby-Doo?
Obviously, it was a Five Guys GE.
And Do you want to talk about this, or do you want to bullshit? I mean, what up, dude?
Well, all right, I want to talk about it. In all seriousness,
talking about it.
I have literally just proven to you that what you're saying that is, it can't be, because the image that you're comparing that to is of a very human person that there is a record of his entire life. So it cannot be what you are saying it is. It cannot be some being from another dimension coming through, because that tomb lid is of a very, very human person. So you're wrong, right? You can see that you're wrong, because I've just explained to you exactly why you're wrong.
I don't think so, because that thing was before the last cataclysm.
Are you denying this person lived?
How do you know the Pacal that we know of in South America isn't another manifestation?
Guys, you can't. Listen. You can't talk over each other. It's
right. Edge. This is only 2,500.
One person, when we ask a question, let the other person respond.
Right. This is only 2,500 years ago, and there is records of this person's life. Right. There is records of his birth, of where he was born. There is records of where the ceremony took place to crown him as the leader of the Mayan state. There is records of where he died, of the ceremony around his death. There is records of where he was buried. There is records of where the tomb was moved to after a flood. This is all a person. No one thought this was a giant god.
And it's like him rising from the ground and going back to the ground in a spiritual form. It could be metaphor.
What? No, this is an image. It's not metaphor.
Well, then this thing before the last cataclysm, and the Pacal that we know of is another manifestation of this being.
But this, what you're saying this isn't a being. It was a human. What you're comparing that image to was a human. It was not a spiritual being of any, whatever you're on about. Yes, I'm sure, because you can go and look at the records of where this person lived and where this person died. They know about this person's life.
I'm aware of the record.
Here's the ultimate thing, EdgeWyze. You have theories on this stuff, but what is it besides just looking at it and being able to compare it to things that already exist? What evidence do you have that these are actually dragons? It's an actual eagle, and this is an actual giant that is laying to rest, other than just looking at it and shaping it out.
Right. No, I got you. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass here. It's in the Vedic text, in the ancient Indian text, they refer to Rahu and Ketu, and they're basically twin demons that one rules the ground, one rules the sky, and they're part of the energetic force that essentially powers this plane.
Okay, that's a demon, though. I'm talking about the dragon and the eagle. Where do they come into play?
It's whatever happened before the last cataclysm. It's whatever happened before humans were here. You're looking at the remnants of it.
Yeah, but what I'm asking, let me ask just one question real quick, guys, and then I'll let you guys. But the question is, what evidence do you have? Do you have, besides just looking at it, or do you not have anything other than just your feeling and looking at it on Google Earth? Is there anything else that you have that will corroborate your what you're saying here?
No, but
okay. Okay, I mean that's an honest answer. That's an honest answer.
If it looks like a bird, it might be a bird.
Yeah, but it looks like a bird to you. To GE, the bird looks like Nicki Minaj. And then who decides if it's really the bird or Nicki Minaj?
Pull up another image. Let the video play and get to another image. Get a side by side of this character with.
Well, yeah, but right, okay. You keep saying that this is from a great cataclysm from before humans were here, right? Is that what you said? So this was all an imprint, but from before humans were here. But that Mayan person that you're comparing it to, let me speak, right? That Mayan person that you're comparing it to existed while humans were here. Not from before a great cataclysm or anything. The guy was born on, I'll tell you the exact date. He was born 9/8/1301. So he was born about 675 years before apparently the birth of Christ. He died 68 years later. So this was not before a great cataclysm. This was a person that lived within our time frame. which is completely against all the rubbish that you were saying.
The Pacal you're referring to was king, and this thing is imprint in the ground. He's a reincarnation, a manifestation of that being.
All right, let me get GE in here. GE.
It's a great cataclysm. This was.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of curious. What exactly was
before they were born?
Hold on. Go ahead.
What exactly was the great catalysm that you're talking about? Whatever. Is it the great catechism or the great catalysm?
Cataclysm.
Metabolism?
Metabolism? Don't throw another one in on me.
Right, he's been drinking wheat beer all day, so just bear with him.
Right, no, I'm on my second beer. So.
The cataclysm. Like, what is the cataclysm?
Isn't there evidence of a worldwide flood with
no
ripple marks at the top?
No, there's evidence of a flood in one particular area. Like the flood that you're referring to, the flood that the Bible refers to, it's been historically traced to literally be only one area. It wasn't the whole world. There was never a point where the whole world was flooded. I mean, you can go back to the last ice ages when water levels started to rise and stuff, but that was not within the time frame of human existence and civilization. There has never been a great flood.
It originated from Samaria, in ancient Mesopotamia, the Fertile Crescent.
Yeah. So, but there's never been a great flood that destroyed the whole world. So, what do you say to that?
But I mean, EdgeWyze, you have to understand that when this story was told and passed down, that was their entire world at the time, right? Their area, that was all they knew. So they didn't know that the Earth, how far the Earth spanned or how big it was, how vast it was. So when it flooded, that was their entire world. So it got passed down that the world did get flooded. It was just a semantics thing.
I guess I use the word cataclysm just to paint a picture. Replace the word cataclysm with creation. The world had to be created somehow. I guess you guys would say what? Exploding stars coalesce to a planet in space?
No.
Gravity is the answer you're looking for.
Well, either way, something's a far stretch to how we got here.
Not really. Gravity is a completely explained. You're saying it's far-fetched. Let's look at that for a sec, right? With gravity, not only is it not just a theory, it's a mathematical law which we can use to explain and predict pretty much everything that happens within the universe. Now, on your side, there's dragons. Do you see how the two are different? How we have actually got a logical explanation for our side, whereas you've got dragons.
Okay, dragons, not quite in the sense of a lizard. Okay, think of a spiritual being, eternal, cosmic being, not just a fire breathing stupid lizard.
A shapeshifter.
Which again is something we can measure, test, observe. We know exists. We can predict things around it. So we know that gravity, whether you believe that it exists or not, isn't the point, because we know that there is an accelerating force towards Earth of 9.8 meters per second squared. Whether you believe in it or not doesn't matter. But that being the result of the Earth being formed or some spiritual being, which do you see as more logical?
Well, what is it, Drunky?
I've got a question about dragons after he answers Fight the Flat Earth. I don't want to interrupt.
Just pick on
you.
Yeah.
Repeat the question. I got sidetracked. What do you want to know?
Right. I just want to look at this from 2 points of view. Okay. We know that we can predict and measure gravity. We know there's a downward accelerating force of 9.8 meters per second squared. We can measure this and observe it. Okay. Whether you believe it or not isn't the point here. We know, or we can observe that is the reason for the universe being the way it is. And, we can test things around this. But on your side, you've got a spiritual being of some kind did it. Which do you see as more logical?
Again, I'm going with the spiritual force because gravity.
Well,
what?
Okay,
gravity made all this complicated life. That's what you're saying?
Gravity, is one of the fundamental forces in the universe that has helped it be the way that it is. It isn't literally the reason why there's life. There's a lot more to it than that. But
what's that?
there's as to why DNA came along. I particularly subscribe to the RNA theory. But again, these are things that we can test and measure and observe. What you're going with is unfalsifiable and just kind of, it's magic.
So is what you're going with.
GE, you said that you had a question about dragons. Do you want to ask that?
Oh, yes, I can. So now, we were kind of curious about this before you came on. Since these dragons were huge and roamed the earth in these, packs, I guess, or maybe they were loners. I don't know. They could have lone wolfed it. Who knows? What did they eat? Could it have been these hamburgers that we talked about before?
Like I said, they're spiritual beings. They live in the spiritual world. They were before humans. There's 2 of them. And mind you, a Glober found that first dragon in Morocco. That's why I'm looking at this and talking about it, is because I've looked at Mud Fossil University for a year and a half now and watched him point out the dragon in Morocco. And he's a total Globy.
Speaking of which, EdgeWyze, I have a question to piggyback off of that. You use the globe Earth to find these things. Are you saying that the Earth as it is on Google Earth, and that the way that you're shaping, outlining these different things, is how the Earth really is? So the Earth is a globe, and if not, what does the flat Earth model that you think it looks like? How is it laid out, and how would these shapes contort to that kind of plane?
Well, again, Google Earth is just a rendering of a compilation of a whole lot of long exposed high altitude shots.
Right.
Strip data.
Right. But that strip data is arranged in a way to make the shapes that you're seeing as dragons and eagles.
Well, one thing I've realized after looking at all this, I don't subscribe to the AE projection with Antarctica as the ice wall. I think I would admit that Antarctica is what they say it is, but they're obviously hiding something down there. So
a polar bear. That's what it's a fossilized polar bear.
Well, why is it obscured on Google Earth? Why is this Antarctica obscured? Why can't you see any land features whatsoever?
They probably have military stuff.
There's a lot of snow.
Or they're, maybe they
are running some kind of operation. It's basically a big thing of fucking ice. What do you expect it to have? Yeah.
I mean, the Antarctic Treaty isn't like something to keep people away. It's to protect it from, it's literally to protect it from people taking over with military and stuff. You can practically go anywhere you want in Antarctica. There is a few areas that are off limits for research, but you're not going to be stopped by a bunch of military guys with guns. It's not like some super high military complex that's being patrolled by security all the time.
Penguins.
There is, when I was checking a couple of days ago, I found 32 companies that will literally take you on holiday to the South Pole. And you can explore wherever you want. I mean, you can go and explore Antarctica as much as you want, but you wouldn't want to because most of it is like 30 degrees centigrade below freezing and it's probably going to kill you. But there's nothing stopping you going there if you want to.
So why don't they show it? Why don't they show it on Google Earth? Why don't they show land features?
Because there's probably bases and shit there. There's probably military bases.
Yeah, but like I said, because there is areas that are off limits for research. I mean, no one's denying that. But
okay.
But what military
are they hiding? The reason why there's a bunch of stuff in Russia blacked out and a bunch of stuff in the USA blacked out. But there's nothing to stop you going to Antarctica and looking around if you really wanted to do that.
Almost
it's not like some super controlled
in the United States are blacked out. Edge.
Yeah, you contradict yourself, dude.
Almost all of the military bases in the United States are blanked out, or anything that has to do with like government contract and stuff like that. Why would they show that on Antarctica if it's supposed to, if they're trying to keep it under wraps? There are things that the government does do that we don't know about. I mean, that's just the fact of life.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm literally looking at Antarctica through Google Maps right now, and I swear to fucking Christ, I see a goddamn dragon in.
Oh, gee, don't.
Send me the link.
Encourage him.
Screen snap it and send it to me so I can put it up. Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna screen snap. I'm gonna screen do this. Okay.
Sorry, is my volume low? Is that
I
better,
believe it's
guys?
called snipping tool. There we go. And so, I mean, I don't, like, in all seriousness, I'm looking at Antarctica. I'm not seeing these blurred out portions. I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of white in a lot of flat surface, but, I mean, that it's a big fucking thing of ice. Like, I mean, that's what it is. That's what Antarctica is. That's why it's protected, is because it's a very specific climate. It's a very specific ecosystem and all that kind of shit. Like, we don't need to be building goddamn, buildings on that place.
This was
predicted.
This was predicted in Game of Thrones. This was predicted in Game of Thrones. Where's the picture at, GE? I don't have it.
I know. I'm getting
when
it
you say
to you.
military presence,
Okay, I got you.
When you say military presence,
but you need to
it's
show
not
that
like
other
there's
picture.
it's not like there's some massive, army there. There, of course, going to be security and stuff patrolling, looking after whatever installations there are, but there's not like some humongous military just wandering around Antarctica shooting people that they see. There's not this massive military presence.
Then why is it all obscured out?
It's not.
And
Godless
why is
Engineer has
there-
just gone and looked. Godless Engineer has literally just gone on Google Earth and looked, and there is no areas blurred out on Antarctica. There's a lot of white because there's a fuckload of snow.
Yeah, well, it's white. Same difference. It's obscured.
It's not
It's not
obscured.
Snow on
There's
the ground,
snow.
so it's obscured?
They mean naturally.
What do you want to see?
Naturally,
Underneath the snow?
Edge. It's naturally obscured.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't
like
think so.
Google have blacked it out. There's snow there. It looks white.
There we go.
See? What are you expecting to see? The land features underneath the snow.
To me, it looks
See,
like an
look,
ice
that's
giraffe.
a giant fucking worm.
It's an ice giraffe.
Chocolate
Everybody in the
that's fine.
comments.
It's just no. Don't worry about it. Move on. You guys aren't too concerned about the true nature of your world. It seems like you just
I'm not
accept
concerned.
anything.
That
Well, what do we have to
I'm
be
not
concerned
that
about?
there's
though,
snow in
EdgeWyze?
Antarctica.
Like,
No, of course not.
Here's a good question. Let's do this because it is getting late and we are pushing through. Take us through the end game. Okay, let's say that we grant you that these things, that there is a dragon in Africa, there's an eagle there, the ice giraffe, all of that is true. What's the end game? What does it mean for humanity? Like, what do we do with that knowledge now?
Well, we reassess everything. We live life differently. We get out from the oppression of our financial system that traps us into a daily life that everyone does something they don't want to do.
Tell me
how do dragons translate to like financial burden?
Right.
I'm missing that particular cloud of magic right there.
How does that affect how we live our daily
we're
lives?
forced to accept what our authorities say about the nature of our world, and if anything goes against that, we get ridiculed. God forbid.
Well, no, like it's.
How does that connect to financial burden?
I don't see it as authorities telling us about the shape of our world, because there was no authorities telling me to do the experiments and stuff that I did when I was studying. I was the one that chose to go, and do my degree, and the experiments that I got to do that prove that physics is a thing, I can go and do anywhere. And there was no authorities that came up with those. It was people that discovered physics and mathematics, came up with ways to explain it and test it.
Go ahead.
Tell me what
there's
the
many
experiment
experiments. I can tell you a whole bunch of experiments that we did around physics, testing weight and kinetic energy and and gravity, and a massive part of was doing experiments.
Okay, what?
What's the experiment that proves curvature?
Experiment that proves curvature? Oh, just ask Bob. Sorry, Jeranism. He did one that proved curvature. And also, I recently did a video. Guys, please go and check out my video on the Bedford level experiment, which showed exactly how there is curvature, and anyone can go and do that. There's also 3 places in America that you can replicate that experiment that shows you over 6 miles exactly how much curvature there is. That's been done. We've shown curvature many, many times. There's an experiment being conducted at the moment.
Steering on the horizon.
No, okay.
Things get smaller
Have
in
you
the
looked
distance.
into the Bedford level experiment? Because after the original Bedford level experiment, it was redone to get rid of things like refraction, and they didn't do it by having a boat go miles away and looking at the horizon. What they did was they had signs placed at different lengths along, and they could, if it was flat, then the signs would have lined up with a mark on the bridge 6 miles away. And if it was round, then the signs that they put would have been higher than that. And what it turned out was that it was higher, it was independent. No, wait, it was independently verified by 2 referees. Okay, there's you can go and watch my video, and you'll understand how the Bedford level experiment, when it was repeated properly, right? So it's not just refraction, because they weren't looking at the horizon. That's not how they did it.
Let's let him respond. Go ahead.
Well, you can look at telephone poles, and you see they get shorter in the distance, concentrically or whatever. I mean, and if you put markers on each one of those poles and lined it up through a camera, they wouldn't quite line up. It's perspective.
Dude, you're just changing the subject.
Because there's a curve.
Perspective.
Yeah, you're literally just. I want to talk about the Bedford level experiment, and because you're changing the subject because I've got you into a corner. The Bedford level experiment, the way it was done, 100% proves that there's curve. And if you know how it was done, like you've just claimed, then you will know that it's nothing to do
within a couple miles, huh? That's what you're saying.
6 miles with the way that it was done.
But
yes, you can.
You can't see it from the high altitude balloons.
Oh,
so
again,
you're
going.
Right.
What is it with flat earthers that you don't understand the difference of looking towards you and looking at like directly in front of you and looking at the horizon? They're 2 different things. You can't compare them.
We're going to bring this to a close here in just a few minutes, guys. We're going on like 6 hours now.
All right, well, what I want to say is that all that you've shown me, Edge, is that you really do suffer from pareidolia and apophenia, which is a tendency to mistake and perceive connections between things that don't exist. It's a form of pareidolia, and looking into it, the studies that were done show that people that have extreme pareidolia is associated with high IQ, but also a lack of critical thinking and mental illness. All right? So you are just displaying all the signs of someone that is full on deep within this. They're stuck in pareidolia. They see things and they can't move past that. And my honest advice to you is to speak to somebody, because I think you have an issue. I'm not being mean here.
I'll do that,
looking at your videos and the way that you're talking about things, I genuinely think you have an issue with the way you're seeing the world, and I would really advise speaking to somebody about it.
Okay, let's get your final thoughts, EdgeWyze.
Hey, I point out stuff that looks like what I say it looks like, and that's about all I can say. I'm making assertions, and I'm just deducting from what I'm seeing. And if I see something that looks like a giant bird next to a giant serpent, well, I'm going to funnel that through the cogs, and this is kind of what I'm coming up with. Okay,
fair enough.
Hey, we had to come into existence somehow, and then that's the bottom line,
I agree.
And nobody really
knows. You're right in the fact that nobody really knows 100% sure. I mean, there are ideas, I think, that better explain our existence than others. Wouldn't you agree?
It depends on what you're referring to. Yeah, sure, I agree.
Okay, so we just have to. What we have to be vigilant about is looking at evidence that has been peer-reviewed and studied by other people, and be able to think critically on which one of those our options is more viable. And that's why I pointed out earlier when I asked you, do you have any other proof other than just looking at this and saying that it looks like it's a dragon or an eagle? Because when you have the option of you have these huge creatures that roamed the earth, just the 2 of them, that lived in a spiritual world and sometimes came into the real world, and they died here on the earth and they were fossilized, and that's what we see now. Or the theory of evolution, which has been put through the ringer, tested time and time again. There are up-teen papers and stuff on it. I mean, you have to be able to look at those 2 things and say, okay, one is more credible than the other.
Evolution is preposterous. I mean, come on, over billions of years, chemical reactions.
Yeah, but that's what we say about a giant eagle and a dragon. Do you see the correlation between?
At least you can actually look at the giant eagle and the dragon. I mean, it's right there.
But we can look at evolution.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You can't
listen, we
fight that.
need to get behind the giant Nicki Minaj vape cloud god. Okay, this is all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, well, that's an ending point. But EdgeWyze, just be vigilant about looking into this stuff. And I mean, I don't even know where you go to look into it deeper about if it's a dragon or eagle, because I think you may be the only person. Are you the only person that believes this, or are there other people that believe this as well?
I'm the only one talking about it on YouTube. I'm the only one showing a lot of the things I'm showing on YouTube.
Okay, now let me ask this last question. Does that go any ways of helping you understand that you might be the only one seeing this? Does that give you reason to pause and think why you're the only person that thinks this?
I looked at Roger's videos. I saw his dragon. I was scouring Africa, and my trick was I had the map turned upside down, and that's how I was able to find the dragon skull in South Africa. And then I just kind of knew what to look for, and I just found thing after thing after thing.
So you're the only one. You're the only one alive today that has this information.
There's no one else referring to it,
Now, that's
like
my
I
question.
said,
Why is that, though? Why is that? Why are you the only one?
Coincidence.
You don't believe in coincidence. You have videos on that.
A little bit of luck and skill. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, see, there I think is the answer right there. You don't know, and you've got a cool story, I think, but it would make for a great
books.
Yeah, it would make for a great book, but it's not reality.
If the things didn't look like if it didn't look like a bird beak, if it didn't look like feathers, if it didn't look like a dragon head, I would admit it. But that's the thing. It looks like those things.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but at the same time, Ed, you're saying that, but that on the last show, we showed you what was quite clearly Jesus in the dog's ass, and you said you couldn't see it. How can you see these things but not see something that everybody else can see?
Do you see have you seen the picture of Toast Jesus, the picture of the toast that has the image of Jesus in it? Have you seen that picture?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, do you literally think that's the face of Jesus?
No.
Okay, why not? Why can that not be the real face of Jesus?
What are we in high school here? Who cares about that? This is remedial.
No, we're just trying to understand how you see things in one
hold on,
thing.
it's a very valid point. It's a very valid point. Why is what you see in the topography of the Earth more important than what someone else sees in a piece of toast that looks like Jesus' face? Because it does look like Jesus' face. Even I can say that.
Man, that's a question for the ages, Kyle. I don't know.
But these are important questions. Like you can't just be okay with believing something that makes you feel good or makes you feel comfortable, and it possibly being false. Especially when
this makes me feel comfortable. This isn't what I wanted, dude. This isn't what I expected. This isn't what I was looking for.
Okay, so you
just
should
like that Pakal character. I looked at that forever before I figured out that it was Pakal because it looked familiar. And I had to stare at it and twist it and turn it and zoom in and out for hours before I determined that it was that Pakal.
Right, but knowing what I explained to you today about Pakal, do you still think that is Pakal? I mean, like I can tell you where he was born and stuff. So how can we have a record of his entire life, yet there's been a form of him that's in the mountains from before he was born? You do see the contradiction there, right?
Well, the even bigger contradiction is the big fucking Pakal that looks like the character in the Mayan relief.
Yes, look, EdgeWyze, no one is arguing that it doesn't. No one is arguing that the dragon doesn't look like a dragon or that the eagle doesn't look like an eagle. I saw the eagle beak that you were talking about. Yes, it looks like an eagle beak, but that doesn't mean that it is an eagle beak.
And it doesn't mean that is Pakal, because there's no way that could be Pakal, because he was alive whilst that image was there in the mountains.
Yeah. But we've gotta. I don't think we're gonna agree here, and that's okay. That's all right. I just ask you to keep asking why. always ask why. Like why would this be? Why do I think this? Everybody does. If everybody did that more often, I think we would come to some better understanding. But I think a lot of people get they get a narrative that they like and they want to hold on to. It's different, and they want to roll with it. But yes, it looked like an eagle beak, but that doesn't mean it is an eagle's beak. It's just your brain has is wired in such that it looks for patterns. And
can I ask Edge a serious question a sec?
Yes.
Do you have family and stuff that you live with, Edge?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you talk to them about this? I'm not trying to be nasty in any way. I'm genuinely do you talk to them about this? Are they aware of the way that you feel?
Yeah. Yes. All my friends and family are aware of what I'm showing them, and they had a very hard time accepting this, as I did. Again, this isn't what I was looking for or expected, but it is what it is. At the least, fellas, it looks like what I'm saying it is.
Yes.
Even if it's not.
No one's denying that
it
can look what you're saying. But just because it looks like something doesn't mean it is. Like in the last video you put up about pareidolia and coincidence.
It does.
I look like a discount garden gnome. I look like a discount garden gnome, EdgeWyze. That doesn't mean that I am.
I look like a potato-headed, ball-licking cunt, according to my most recent comments. But
Kyle, is there any way that we could show that one image from before?
Oh yeah. We'll end on this. Just to test and see, EdgeWyze, if you can, your abilities to pick out things. GE has got a picture that he wants to see if you can figure out what this is.
Hey, if it's a dog's ass, you guys have been looking at it longer than I'm going to look at it.
Well, this is funny. You'll like this. This is a good way to end. All right. What is this? And boom.
I don't know. I'm just looking at a little thumbnail. I don't know. It looks like clouds.
Right. You're close.
Can you see the hands?
Squint. No?
I guess it could look like hands, I suppose. Whatever.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll
looks
take
like
it.
Hands opening up something.
Okay, well, just go back and watch the video. Just go back and watch the video.
Edge, I just want to say to you that.
Gee, do you have your ukulele?
Yeah, don't let this take over your life. All right. I've looking into Flat Earth. I have seen so many people that are so lost in Flat Earth that nothing else matters to them. The fact that you say you've got family and friends around you, I like, because if people don't, then they can get totally lost in this. Just make sure that your friends and family are there for you, and if you have questions, then I'm sure that they can help you.
And EdgeWyze, you get the last word before we Godless Engineer takes us out on the ukulele. So the next time is yours.
All right. Thanks for having me. Maybe I'll call in again sometime. Hey, you know what would debunk Flat Earth?
What?
If the world was actually a spinning space ball.
You're right. You got us. Checkmate, Globetards.
Damn it.
Good night.
And
night,
I'm going to end as G takes us out on the uke. I'm going to end on the tonight's TV show send in. You know, if you don't know, we're doing openers and closers from famous TV shows. Pick a number, GE, 1 through 7.
5.
5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is going to be from Kristen Holt and Kristen Adams on G4's Cheat, where they would end each episode with, "Until next time, I'm Kristen Holt, and you've been cheating."
The earth is flat, motherfuckers. The sooner you realize that, the better you'll be. We can detect the circumference, dipshits. Don't be an idiot, please.
Keep playing GE as we go to the end card. Keep playing as we go to the end card, GE.
Started off saying the earth is flat and ended saying
Oh, apparently I said the Earth is flat. I mean, it's a sphere. Had too much whiskey. The Earth is a sphere.
I can't find what happened
We
to
can
my.
detect the circumference. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't find the stupid end card. Where did it go?
Okay.
Hold on.
God, you need Bullinator back.
I know where. Oh, here we go. No, that's not it either. I think I closed it out. Okay, we're just gonna end then. So
Okay.
yeah. This is appropriate. Goodbye, everyone.